your veteran up for their honor flight today at gslhonorflight.org, and for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, happy Monday. How was your Halloween weekend? Was it good? You have a good All Saints Day? It's November, which means it's Christmas time. Yeah. Are you with me on this, Ryan?
I actually am with you on this. It's one of the few things that I agree with you on.
One of the few?
Most things I think that you're horribly off on. But this is the Annie Fry Show, and so there has to be some common ground sometimes, and I do believe it's Christmas season now.
You said it. And my barista friend Emily at Scooter said this to me, and I'm like, why have I not been able to come up with this? She nailed it. Because the cups that you get at Christmas cups.
Oh.
I'm sure Starbucks is probably the same thing. I don't know. I don't go there.
Okay.
Unless in case of emergency. But she goes, Christmas is a season, Thanksgiving is a holiday, and Thanksgiving deserves to be recognized as a holiday as it is. But Christmas is a season, which means you celebrate it for the duration of the season. And I thought that's a really good way to explain how you can do both.
I agree. And I don't think that, if I got paid to go the other way, maybe I would change my mind. But I don't think that you are taking anything away from Thanksgiving by
Is
celebrating
somebody
Christmas.
offering to pay you to go the other way on your emphatic love for Christmas?
I'm open to offers. If somebody out there is so committed to Thanksgiving that they're like, you can't talk about Christmas until after Thanksgiving.
I don't think there's money in investing in persuading people on this.
Look, I'm not great at knowing where to put my money.
The first gift of Christmas, Nancy Pelosi has decided not to run for re-election.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well,
It's a good thing you're
Merry
here, man.
Christmas.
It's a Christmas
Good
miracle.
grief. There are reports that she has determined that she will not run for re-election. We're waiting to see if it's confirmed. Of course, a lot of people are talking about it, but I am just going to embrace the holiday season and consider that the first gift to the United States of America.
Well, everybody's a little cheerier today, aren't they?
And then tomorrow we're going to elect a communist in New York City, so it's going to kind of balance itself out.
Well, we're not quite electing him yet, are we? It's just the primary. We got a couple months.
What?
It's just the primary, isn't it? Or no, is this the actual election? Where am I getting lost in the New York primary? Oh my gosh. Never mind. Never mind.
What are you talking
about? Oh my
about?
gosh. I've been thinking about this as the primary for a month, and that was already happened. Why am I thinking that way? Sorry. Take the show back over. I've clearly failed.
I've been trying to, but you keep talking and saying wild things. Zoran Mamdani faces off against Andrew Cuomo, who's running as an independent in the New York City mayoral race. Of course, Curtis Sliwa is the Republican who won the nomination there. And a lot of people are showing, they're showing these polls that show that
it's close,
that the race is close. But then you also consider how much support that Curtis Sliwa has been able to pull in, and people are wondering very much so, how is it that Curtis Sliwa is still a part of this race? Why hasn't he dropped out yet? Dory Murdoch certainly has been somebody who's been on our airwaves, and he's been saying Sliwa shouldn't drop out. Cuomo should drop out. Sliwa won the Republican nomination from his party, and Mamdani won the Democrat nomination. If somebody should drop out, it should be Cuomo. I can only imagine, I love Dory Murdoch, and he lives in New York City, so that man actually has something at stake here based on what comes to be because of this election tomorrow, which for those at home and in the studio listening is a general election for the mayor.
It's because there's so many Democrats in the general. It's all Democrats and Curtis Sliwa. Oh, I know.
And as I said, Cuomo's an independent now. When you look at the numbers of each of these candidates stacked up against each other and it being reasonably close, Droy suggests, in the face of everyone else suggesting that Sliwa would drop out, that maybe Cuomo should drop out. That certainly is not going to take place. That's not going to happen. How do you get to the point where in New York City you have a failed governor, Andrew Cuomo, running against a socialist, Democrat socialist who, again, won the nomination from his party? And I think you just got to look at the direction that the Democrat Party as a whole has taken in New York City They've run out the common sense moderates, the common sense Democrats who probably have a lot of heart on their sleeve liberal beliefs, but fiscally probably a little bit more moderate, a little more not conservative necessarily, but less socialistic. New York City is about to screw around here and find out. And I think that the rest of us are going to be watching this and seeing, okay, then what happens next? The Democrat Party in New York is going to be the only effective way of pushing back in that city, in that state, to try to get some common sense back to the biggest city in our country. But at the same time, on a national scale, a lot of people are going to be looking at what Mamdani tries to do and campaigning off of it for the next year when the actual midterms happen across the country. Meanwhile, the government is still shut down. We're going to speak with Ryan Schmelz in about 10 minutes from right now, so stick around for that. He's going to give us the latest on the shutdown. The YouTube poll for today: do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? You've heard of the nuclear option. This is where the Republicans in the Senate can change the rules of engagement of sorts, the rules to pass something, and they can vote to eliminate the filibuster. Now, if you've heard me talk about this and you already know your, Schoolhouse Rock, how to pass the bill, good for you. Stick with me. But there are a lot of people who don't understand this, and I'm going to reiterate it very basically once again. The House, which is a majority rules body of Congress, they have to get one more vote for something in order for it to pass. There doesn't have to be a 60% or a 60, well, it is 60%, a 60 vote majority like in the Senate. It's just simple majority rules in the House. Then that goes over to the Senate, and the Senate has to do something before they can pass the bill by a simple majority. They have to vote to end the filibuster. Ending the filibuster requires 60 votes. So you continue to hear Fetterman, a few other Democrats have come across the aisle and voted to end the shutdown by passing the continuing resolution that the Republicans in the House passed. They need 5 more people to cross the aisle to support the ending of the shutdown. Now, Rand Paul has voted against this, so it could be a bipartisan crossing into a yes vote to end the filibuster, which could include Rand Paul. But other than that, at most, one Republican could move over. The other 4 are going to have to be Democrats. The purpose of this in the Senate is to ensure that the majority does not rule everything in this country, that the minority will have a sort of representation. And in the Senate, a state like Wyoming, they get 2 senators. A state like New York, they get 2 senators. This ensures that the majority has its say in one chamber of Congress in the House, but that a calmer, more thoughtful process where compromise might have to occur, or a sort of bill would have to come to agreement that would benefit the most people, along with the support of the majority rule in the Senate, or excuse me, in the House. This is what causes us to very much so be the republic that we were told we need to protect in order to keep it. And so for something to pass in the Senate, first it has to pass a 60 vote standard. And then once they end the filibuster, that 60 votes is to end the filibuster, then they actually vote on the bill. You could have 7, 8 likely Democrats vote to end the filibuster. So vote yes to end the filibuster, but they could also vote no on the continuing resolution, and it would still pass because you'd have a, at worst, 50-50 tie in the Senate, which J.D. Vance as the vice president would get to come in and break that tie. And you better believe he's going to vote to end the shutdown. You can vote to end the filibuster and then vote against the bill. That would end the shutdown and allow Democrats to participate in the opening of the government, but still represent the people in their state as saying, I don't think this continuing resolution is what we need to do in order to get the healthcare subsidies extended, or whatever it is the Democrats want to get done. NPR funded. That is the civics of what needs to happen right now. When you understand that Democrats could still vote against the actual bill, but would have to come across and vote with Republicans in order to end the filibuster, that's how you can really see how Democrats are working very hard to keep the government shut down. That the Democrats are working to ensure that they use what they refer to as one of their few points of leverage in order to make an effect on how this government is functioning. The only way, the leverage that the Democrats need, the only way that they can see this through is to use the mechanics of the filibuster to keep the government shut down. It is necessary for the Democrats to keep the government shut down in order for them to have leverage. That's what they've told us. That's not my inference of it. That's not my understanding of it. That is what they've told us. Now, because the Republicans hold the majority, they could use what is referred to as the nuclear option. This has been done here recently to approve a whole slate of, I think, judicial appointments that President Trump had made that Chuck Schumer said, no, we're not doing that. We're holding that up. We're not going to allow that to happen. If you use the nuclear option, the Republicans who control the majority in the Senate can change the rules of the Senate to get rid of the filibuster so that what you would need is to go straight to voting on the continuing resolution or whatever bill might be in front of them that the Democrats are holding up. You can use the nuclear option, you can get rid of the filibuster, and then it is a simple majority rule in the Senate. There's 100 people there. If it gets split 50-50, then you see the vice president, J.D. Vance, coming in to break the tie. We saw Vice President Kamala Harris repeatedly coming in to break ties on very big, important things, including the Inflation Reduction Act, is my recollection. And they used the power to do that in order to make it pass. Donald Trump said this weekend that he would like to see the Republicans use the nuclear option to end the shutdown. But he didn't stop there. He said, use it for everything. Let's get everything done that we want to do. Get rid of the filibuster. Let's go straight to it. That would change the face of how the Senate is to operate. It would throw into the Republicans' hands, because they have a majority, the opportunity to push through so much of the legislation that they can get through the House and then get through the Senate and vice versa, and get it to the president's desk so he can sign it into law. Do you want to see the Republicans follow Trump's advice and get rid of the filibuster, the nuclear option? That's our YouTube poll for today. Yes, but just to end the shutdown. Yes, do it for everything. Or no, you don't want to see it at all. This is definitely one of those things that you need to think with your heart, but also take a moment and think with your head to determine if you want to set the precedent that this is how majorities that aren't strong enough to get those 60 votes on their own, or policies, bills that get passed that aren't strong enough to get 60 votes in a bipartisan way. Does this put us in a position where everything becomes majority rule? And the way with which Republicans use it, Lord knows, the Democrats are always willing to take this type of measure, it seems, and wield the levers of power as much as they possibly can in a way that Republicans look on and go, gosh, how come we don't do that when we have the power, when we have the position? How come Republicans never do that? Well, now the Republicans have the opportunity to do that, and you got to ask yourself, do you want them to? You go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, youtube.com/@AnnieFry. You'll see we're broadcasting live right there, and you can vote in today's poll. Do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? Yes, but just to end the shutdown, and then you put the filibuster back in. Yes, do it for everything. That's what President Trump said that he wants him to do. Or no, you don't support it. Go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Hold my head up high, and it's been a while.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
You make me live. Whatever this world can give to me, it's you're all I see.
I was looking into it.
Different nuclear, by the way. That's what President Trump said in his interview with 60 Minutes and Nora O'Donnell. I watched that interview and it was really truncated. I think it was maybe 27 minutes in total what they actually got on the air. The whole video has been posted so you can watch it unedited. I haven't had that kind of time on my hands, but he says that he'd like to see the Republicans go nuclear. What the heck does that mean? We were talking about it a little bit in the last segment, but let's get Ryan Schmelz on with us, Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill and White House correspondent, and our window into the Capitol. Ryan, welcome back to the show. It's good to see you.
Always great to be on. Happy Halloween.
Yes, happy Halloween. We're going to talk about Ryan Schmelz's Halloween costume here in a minute. But first, something even more scary. The government shutdown continues. This is day 30. What is it? 34, 33 or something like that? 33.
34. Then tomorrow we tie the record for longest government shutdown in history.
I'm just thinking about doing a Trump impression, which I can't do, which is why I stopped myself. But longest shutdown ever by the Democrats. What's at stake as every day goes on? My understanding is that it does hurt a little bit more for the country, exponentially so. Talk to us about where we are right now on day 34.
Well, I think we've hit a number of key deadlines here. You had the SNAP benefits run out over the weekend. So that's going to impact millions of people who rely on SNAP to buy groceries. I believe that's 1 in 8 Americans who do that. Then you also have the fact that TSA workers, air traffic controllers, different government employees like that who are deemed essential have not gotten a paycheck and are starting to miss their paychecks. So we are starting to see significant backups at airports across the country and significant ground delays. And, October was a unique month. It's a month where I think a lot of the travel has to do with football related. And those are kind of some of the big events. But now you still have football season well into effect. But then also we're getting into holiday travel season.
Yeah.
So even just a few backups at the airports are going to be a problem for that. But when you're talking about nationwide air traffic controllers who are already understaffed, by the way, potentially calling out sick or just not showing up to work because they're not getting a paycheck, this is going to really add up really soon.
So Ryan Schmelz speaking with us right now. Is it in your estimation, based on conversations with people in the hallways there in Congress and what you're experiencing, are the Republicans or the Democrats, or maybe both of them, are they starting to feel the heat even more so than when this started, or do they seem pretty resolute on each side?
I think both sides are definitely feeling the heat in some capacity, especially when they're back home in their districts. Now, I think both sides, from what we've seen, have at least for the most part stayed true to their arguments, and Republicans haven't really seemed keen on budging. Now, what's interesting is that I think you do start to see a few cracks on the Democrat side. Take Josh Gottheimer. He is a Democrat from a swing district in New Jersey. He said that he believes the deal that Leader Thune has laid out, which is a vote or a guarantee of a vote on the extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits in exchange for reopening the government, is a fair deal. I pressed Leader Jeffries about this last week when Gottheimer first made those comments. He said, well, let me make it very clear to you. There are no cracks within the Democrat side, even though pretty clearly Gottheimer is one of the people who is cracking. And then you also have John Fetterman, the senator from Pennsylvania, who's been very critical of his party for the fact that the government is still shut down. So you see 3 Democrats each and every time they brought this bill to reopen the government back up, voting with Republicans over and over again. You haven't seen any more join them, but the question is, will that change as this continues?
Ryan Schmelz speaking with us right now, Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill and White House correspondent. So Ryan, the way these things generally play out, give us a little bit of the behind the scenes. Of course, you got 100 people in the Senate, 435 people in the House, and you see a lot of the same faces, generally speaking, being the messenger for the party. But of course, there are a lot of different votes individually. Everybody's vote is equal to the next person who's in each of those chambers. How does leadership of each party work with the entire caucus that they have to ensure that they are, as you talked about, like being airtight on support for whatever the party message actually is? Because we see in the Senate, the Democrats, Chuck Schumer doesn't have Fetterman on a leash. And I wonder how many of the other Democrats that are out there might kind of hear what Fetterman is saying and be like, man, I agree with that, but I'm not going to cross Chuck Schumer. And then maybe same thing on the side of the Republicans. Maybe there are some Republicans in the Senate. We know some purple state senators who sometimes vote with the Democrats who might think, I really think we should talk about health care and extend the subsidies. How do leadership in each of these parties work with the members in their caucus to make sure that everybody is heard and represented?
Well, they have meetings all the time. There's a once-a-week conference meeting that House Republicans have. Then you have a once-a-week caucus meeting that House Democrats have. There's usually a lunch just about every day on the Senate side for each side. So there's these meetings that go on, and there's leadership behind the scenes too. House Republicans have been having a press call just about every week on the government shutdown. There's been some who are questioning whether or not they should stay out of town and keep this streak going, or if they should get Speaker Johnson to bring the House back and ultimately start voting on other bills or trying to pass appropriations bills. That's probably where the biggest crack is on the Republican side, at least on the House. You've seen Marjorie Taylor Greene pretty aggressively against this. And what's also noticeable is that every time they have one of these conference calls, everything that happens in those meetings leaks out. And Speaker Johnson has started a joke about that, where it's like, well, half the reporters in this room were on our conference call last week. So it's become a known thing. And, I would say Republicans are still pretty united for the most part on the messaging around the shutdown. They call it the Schumer shutdown. They have remained pretty firm on, well, the Democrats could just reopen the government anytime, because a lot of these Republicans voted for something that they don't like voting for, which is a clean extension of government funding, especially when the spending levels that they're approving are Biden-era spending levels. But a lot of them swallowed that pill in order to support President Trump and support their party leadership. So Republicans have stayed pretty firm on that. There's probably some dissent on the Republican side about what they ultimately should do about the Affordable Care Act tax credits. But it seems like for the most part, they're still united on the simple message of, well, we passed our bill, we did our job. The Democrats need to join us and reopen the government.
We're speaking with Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio. He's the Capitol Hill and White House correspondent. Several messages on our YouTube chat that are listening along with our conversation here, who are pointing out that Arizona representative-elect. And we've seen the Democrats begging Speaker Johnson, to swear her in to her seat, which would obviously +1 up for the Democrats on their side of the aisle in the House. Speaker Johnson says, was it the Pelosi rule that he said he was following, that he was going to follow the precedent set by potentially now retiring former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and say, we'll swear her in when the government reopens? Give us the facts in the matter.
Yeah, so you have Adelita Grijalva. She won a special election to replace her father, who passed away. She has been kind of waiting in limbo and hasn't officially been sworn in to become an official member of Congress. The Pelosi rule that Speaker Johnson is referencing happened with Julia Letlow. She was a congresswoman, or she is a congresswoman, I should say. Her husband died during COVID, and she won a special election to replace him in the House of Representatives. It took a number of days. I believe it was longer than what we've seen with Adelita Grijalva until she was finally sworn in. So Speaker Johnson has made the argument that she will get sworn in, Grijalva will, when the House is back in session. But of course, there's the big elephant in the room, which is that if she is sworn in, she will be the last signature needed on the petition for the bill that would force the release of the Epstein files or compel the release of the Epstein files in the House. They need one more signature to bypass Speaker Johnson on the discharge petition and bring that bill to the floor. So, of course, because Speaker Johnson has kept the House out pretty much throughout the duration of this shutdown, Democrats are trying to make this argument that Speaker Johnson is afraid that if he swears in Grijalva, then that bill is going to get brought to the floor and there's nothing he can do about it.
Can we talk a little bit more about what that petition is? First and foremost, are all of the signatures on that petition Democrats? Is it bipartisan in any way?
It is bipartisan, yes.
So
you have Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, Nancy Mace, and a couple of other Republicans who have signed on to this. Pretty much the rule is that if you get to 218 signatures, you can put what's called a discharge petition on the floor, get the necessary amount of signatures, and then whatever bill you are filing that discharge petition for, leadership on whatever party controls the House, the Speaker of the House essentially cannot stop that bill from getting a vote. So this has barely ever happened before. The discharge petitions are extremely rare. So this is one of the first discharge petitions that's really gotten every single Democrat vote and then enough Republican votes on board with it in order for it to essentially be at the point where it's about to get brought to the floor when Adelita Grijalva gets sworn in. So it's a very rare political tool, but it has been talked about quite a lot. And now you're seeing it at a point where we, for the first time in a while, could see a bill forced onto the floor and the Speaker of the House can't do anything about it.
It's really interesting, and it is bipartisan. And I want to get down a little bit more in depth too on what we're talking about actually happening here. You're talking about the filing of the petition to bypass the speaker. The bill gets on the floor. I think I heard you say Epstein files. Now everybody hears that, and then they just start running into each other and into walls because everybody goes crazy with their hands flailing in the air, and they're saying, "Release the Epstein files." And I am always asking myself, what are the Epstein files? Because we've been talking about this for a really long time. So specific to this petition that is bipartisan, one commenter said that it was initiated by Thomas Massey. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So it was initiated by a Republican, all the Democrats and a few Republicans. Like you said, it's a very unusual circumstance in the House. At the end of the day, if they're successful, will there be Epstein files that are released, and what could be contained or what is anticipated in those files that maybe Speaker Johnson would be saying, I would like to hold off on that story right now?
Right. Well, there's a lot of disagreements, I think, about what the bill ultimately will do. Because if you ask House Republicans who aren't signing on to it, they'll say, well, the oversight committee is doing what it has to do. We're getting a lot of the Epstein files released as soon as a lot of the sensitive information, victims' names, victims' addresses, etc., are redacted. And then ultimately, eventually that information will get released and made public. And Republicans in the House believe this is the right way to do it. They believe they're doing this the right way. They believe they're getting cooperation from the Department of Justice. The Democrat argument, or the argument that others are making, is that there are significant redactions that are in what the documents the House Republicans are getting are, and that's getting to the point of it's pretty much making some of this information unlegible, and you can't read what's in there and whatnot. So Democrats think that if this bill passes, then they'll be able to get a more transparent case of the Epstein files, and that will paint pretty much the broader picture here. So there's a lot of back and forth about what ultimately the bill will do, what ultimately is being released by the Department of Justice, and whether or not what the Trump administration is doing through the DOJ and getting these files out is the right way to do it or not.
So when in this instance, when we release the Epstein files, does it go to just those in Congress, or does it go to Annie Fry sitting in St. Louis for me to peruse?
So I believe the way it's been working right now is that first it goes to the House Oversight Committee. They're allowed to review it. Then they can make it public. That's pretty much how it's been working so far, I believe.
And then the one other question that I want to ask you, and I don't know how in depth you have studied this, but I'm sure that if it would happen, it would be huge news. So you'd be aware of it. In any of the instances where Jeffrey Epstein, Virginia Giuffre, any of the people who are closely associated with have been investigated, prosecuted for the crimes that we understand Jeffrey Epstein has committed, has Donald Trump been implicated in any way, shape, or form in evidence, in testimony, in any reasonable way ever that you have heard be reported or discussed in your time reporting there in Capitol Hill?
Right. I mean, based off the testimony that we saw from the House Oversight Committee and some of the witnesses they brought in throughout their investigation, which happened over the last couple of months, based off of the files that have been released so far, it does not appear that either Donald Trump nor Bill Clinton have had any accusations in there that would be criminal as of right now. So I don't believe there's anything that we've seen that would implicate Donald Trump or implicate Bill Clinton, probably the two biggest names who've been wrapped up into this situation. Obviously, I think you saw what happened with the royal family, with one of the members of the monarchs, facing some significant accusations to the point that they're removing his name from a number of the records there. But yeah, in terms of Donald Trump or Bill Clinton, for that matter, it doesn't seem like there's anything in there just yet.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you feel as though the Arizona representative-elect, is it going to be post-shutdown? Is Speaker Johnson pretty committed to waiting until the shutdown is over in order to swear her in?
Speaker Johnson hasn't given any indication he's bringing them back anytime soon. So he has been pretty clear from the start. If Democrats reopen the government, then he'll bring them all back and she'll get sworn in. But we're still in a government shutdown, and it's been going on for a record amount of time. So I don't think, as of right now, he has not given any indication that he's bringing them back for anything.
Well, I want to encourage folks who are listening right now to follow you on X at Ryan Schmelz Fox, because for Halloween, Ryan Schmelz was Chad Pergram. And have you been practicing this? And have you talked to Chad Pergram about your impersonation of him? Does he approve of it? was he flattered by it?
Chad, by all indications, very much enjoyed it because Chad was actually in the video towards the end where I pretty much got him to play himself and to confront me at the end of it, where I'm just like, and Republicans will have to avoid striking out when it comes to negotiations. Then Chad comes up behind me and goes, call to the bullpen. Oh, hey, Chad.
We love it.
No.
We love being able to talk to both of you.
I don't know. I think I just like kind of started doing it one day. Actually, I think when I realized I actually had the impersonation down, it was when Matt Gaetz dropped out of the AG nomination because it happened while we were mid podcast recording. And the audio is pretty classic in of itself, where I had to like cut Chad off and go, Chad, you need to check your email right now. This is not good. And Chad's like, oh, okay. Okay. And then he just kind of darts off and doesn't even like acknowledge that he's no longer able to record the podcast. He just kind of runs off because, we had a huge breaking news story happening. And so I would go around to people and reenact it because I thought the story was hilarious. And I'd be like, yeah, so Chad was like, well, what's going on here? Oh, okay. Yeah. Matt Gaetz dropped out. Okay. Yeah. So
he's legendary, and we're always grateful for you both when you visit the show, and you did a great job on that Halloween costume. Ryan Schmelz, thanks for being with us today. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, Arnie. Have a good one.
We'll talk to Chad Pergram soon this week. We appreciate you. Oh man, I love it. That's great. Ryan Schmelz, the Fox News Radio Capitol Hill and White House correspondent. Go see his impersonations on his X account, Ryan Schmelz Fox. Quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Such a long time, you're my sunshine, and I want you to know that my feelings are true.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Visit their website. Learn everything that Matt Hayes' company, decades of experience, which you can rely on, that Home Shield Foundation Repair can offer you in your foundational issues that you're dealing with. Basic foundation repair, concrete lifting. I've talked to you a lot about how they use polyjacking. A polyurethane foam gets injected under the concrete that you have on your walkway that's dangerous. You trip over it, so you're afraid someone's going to trip over it. They raise it up, level it out, and it's as good as new. Basement waterproofing also. Let me talk to you about this real quick because basement waterproofing is really, really important for a multitude of issues. If you have a foundational problem in your home and water is seeping into your basement, you're going to want Matt Hayes to come out and at least assess the situation, talk to you about how grave the situation might be in front of you, and give you a solution that you can employ in order to make sure that the problem doesn't get worse. Because those types of problems, if you got water coming in your foundation, you might have huge, way more expensive problems on your hands in the future. You can call him at 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, and tell him Annie sent you. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants. So
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leave Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose, a whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leave Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leave Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty, 314-336-1991. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com. Hey guys, it's Mark Reardon. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
These are the kind of political questions I live for. Today's YouTube live chat poll is, do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? There are 3 options. Yes, but just to end the shutdown. Yes, do it for everything. Or no. A couple comments. One from Scooter here says it's a great poll question. I'd be surprised if Republicans have enough votes to pass it. That's not really a vote, but that is a good comment. Lori says, yes, but just for the shutdown or Dems will never open the government up. What do you think? Should they get rid of the filibuster in the Senate, the GOP Senate majority? Let us know what you think about this controversial topic. It is 12:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Midwest made. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis conservative.
They say the holy water's watered down, and this town's lost its faith. Our colors will fade eventually, so if our time is running out, day after day, we'll make them mundane.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Oh, it's November. Isn't that lovely? I think it's so nice. November is such a nice month. I know people talk about October being kind of a transition into fall month. October is like the hope for November. November is when it's actually there. In October, you can have hot weather in October, or at least not fall chilly weather. We had a streak of, it was 3 days. You said it was weeks of cold, rainy days.
It was 2 weeks.
It was not. It was maybe 2 whole days, but it was just so October-y. Lovely. The ground, like all the pavement is black, wet with rain, and the colors are just starting to pop. But then November gets here and it's like, boom, it's autumn. And everyone's just kind of thinking,
I disliked this October because it was too hot at the beginning and then it was too cold at the end. All the leaves were brown. The sky was gray. I fell on my knees and I began to pray. It was too much of the extremes.
No.
In October.
That's what St. Louis is about. You get everything at once, sometimes in the same day. You turn your furnace on at your house yet?
Yes, we have.
What about you, Brad?
Oh, yeah, our furnace is on.
I'm like, kids, get a blanket. Although the fireplace, I basically spent every waking minute that I wasn't committed to something this weekend with my fuzzy blanket, my chair. Our living room is set up, so we've got 2 couches and then a recliner chair. The living room is not huge, but we went from 1 couch and 2 lazy boy recliner chairs for my husband and me to now 2 couches, because now we actually have like 6 full-size people in our house, and we kept one of the recliners and just put it in the corner. It's not really facing the TV anymore, but a kid can lay in that however you want to see the TV, and they don't care as much. If I did it in like 10 minutes, I'd have a crick in my neck. But my seat is right next to the fireplace. Jared will be like shedding clothes over there, talking about it's hot, and he's as far away from the fireplace as you can get. Are you sitting by the fireplace? Or you sitting far away from it?
We sit kind of far away from it.
No, not we.
Oh,
you.
Me personally? Well, all of us. The answer is the same. We all sit kind of far from the fireplace because if we sit too close to it, it is hot and it changes the dynamic.
Yours is a wood burning fireplace.
Yeah, it's a traditional old fireplace.
Ours is a gas switch.
Yeah.
I will never not have that in a house that I live in.
I do envy you a little bit because it's so much easier to use.
On, off.
But I love having that wood crackle.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's great.
Doesn't it make everything smell like a fire?
It can if the wind is just right.
I guess as long as the smoke is being pulled up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing though. Even when there's no fire going, if the wind just happens to catch the cap right on the chimney up top and blows a little bit through, we all go.
If somebody's having a bonfire in your neighborhood and you walk outside, you're like, oh, thank you. That is delightful. Just like if somebody's smoking some meat or something in your neighborhood.
WIGGINS! Oh! Monday Roundup! This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Yes, it is. This is the Monday Roundup. Everything you missed from the weekend. Let's start with Trump declaring victory over the climate change hoax. So we played the Bill Gates clip, I think in What Did I Miss on Friday? Brad hosted that segment.
I think I played it earlier in the segment. But either way,
yeah. So this is coming from Gates declaring that he had a recent perspective shift on climate change.
Yeah, it was affected in his pocketbook.
Yeah. He's realizing who's in charge now. He's like, oh, maybe I'm having second thoughts.
Sounds exactly like Bill Gates.
It sounds exactly like Chad Pergram.
No, it sounds like Ryan Schmelz sounding like Chad Pergram.
Yeah. Here's the quote from Trump. He says, I, in parentheses, we just won the war on climate change.
Woo!
The climate change hoax, he says. Bill Gates has finally admitted that he was completely wrong, all caps, on the issue. It took courage to do so, and for that, we are all grateful. The rest of this article goes on to explain why climate change is real. Because it's, from the Hill or whatever. All right, next one is a veteran allegedly got badly burned and died in a hotel shower. Listen to the way that this happened. Terrell Johnson was 77. He was staying at a Fairfield Marriott Inn and Suites in San Jose when his family said they found him unresponsive and partially submerged in water so dangerously hot they could not touch him without burning themselves. According to a wrongful death suit that they filed, Johnson was a Marine Corps veteran, was at the hotel ahead of attending his daughter's graduation from San Jose. But I found this story to be, first of all, tragic. Second, fascinating because they always have governors on those boilers, those hot water heaters. And have you ever showered with one that didn't have much of a governor on it?
Where it's like scalding?
Where you can really get those things hot? Man.
The water in our house can get super crazy hot, but I don't know if it's like scalding level. It's too hot to just walk in.
How hot do you like your shower?
However hot you can stand it, just a little hotter than that.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't that like a known thing? Women just want like scalding hot showers.
That's the meme.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I knew women got cold very easily, but I didn't know that it was a scalding hot shower thing. Anyway, that I'm just surprised that of all the news I've ever seen, I've never seen somebody who got killed anyway by too hot of water in their shower. And of course, we'll see if that's actually completely true. It's all in a lawsuit that they're alleging that that's what happened, but sounds like it's close to the truth. Next one, Jennifer Lawrence doubts her Trump criticism is helpful.
Oh, I didn't want you to do the story.
Oh, sorry. Well, here we are. Jennifer Lawrence is rethinking her approach to discussing her political views. While speaking on the New York Times interview podcast, the Die My Love star, why'd they choose that one? Of all the things she's been in, Hunger Games, anything else? Anyway, why she has been a vocal critic of President Donald Trump for years, and she questioned whether she should continue to share her political opinions going forward. Quote, I don't really know if I should, Lawrence said on the November 1st episode. We've learned election after election, celebrities do not make a difference whatsoever on who people vote for. And so, then what am I doing? I'm just sharing my opinion on something that's going to add fuel to a fire that's ripping the country apart. I mean, we are so divided. since we were going to talk about it later, probably.
Not anymore.
What are your thoughts?
You got 2 minutes left, buddy.
No, I mean,
I'll
Jennifer-
get to it when I get to it.
Okay.
But it is an important story. I think people need to understand in the context of where our culture is right now.
All right. FBI has thwarted a potential terrorist attack in Michigan ahead of the Halloween weekend. This is a big story that really hasn't gotten much attention, but on Friday, Halloween, a potential attack, the FBI said it thwarted, was in connection to ISIS. Fox News has learned. A top federal law enforcement source told Fox News earlier Friday that the attack plot was tied to international terrorism, but more information was not immediately available. The FBI said Friday that it prevented a potential terrorist attack in Michigan, and this was, by the way, in Dearborn, Michigan. That is a famous city for being a highly Muslim city. And it said the arrests were multiple suspects accused of plotting violence over the Halloween weekend. That all comes from FBI Director Kash Patel. Last one, while we still have time. How meals this weekend can impact your daily or daylight savings recovery. You are supposed to change the way you eat this week. Any thoughts of how you might be doing that to make
It's
yourself?
the week after Halloween. Maybe you stop eating candy all the time.
First of all, stop.
Are you finding
eating-
yourself like surrounded by little wrappers everywhere you go? Are they from you?
Well, yes, they are. But even here in work, people are bringing it in, and it's both great and also a huge temptation.
Where are they bringing it in?
That's over on the counter.
I didn't know that.
First, start your day with protein. Nothing different there. Start your day with protein. Best way to maintain a constant level of energy is to eat a balanced diet, starting with protein.
Keeps you full.
Second, eat dinner earlier and keep it light. So you're supposed to shift your dinner a little bit earlier than it had been to get yourself back onto that rhythm. And don't eat quite as much so that you're hungrier in the morning. Number 3, add melatonin-friendly foods. I guess that's to go to sleep on time. Foods like turkey, cherries, pumpkin seeds, and kiwi can naturally support the body's melatonin production and improve sleep quality. Number 4, skip sugar. You already said this. And caffeine late in the day. Kind of obvious, but avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. or whenever you think it affects you. Is there a certain time you have to cut it off, caffeine?
No, I don't have to. But if I have caffeine later at night, I definitely stay awake longer. I just deal with it.
After about 5 or 6, I can't drink soda anymore. Otherwise, I will be up all night. And by up, I mean just kind of not sleeping deeply.
Have you ever thought about the merits of getting soda out of your diet? Do you ever think about soda as a completely and totally useless consumption?
Yeah, I think about it usually while I'm pouring myself a soda, though.
Yeah. It's
And I'm
too
like,
late.
man, that
I'm
looks
already
good.
committed. Steve Moore is going to join us when we come back. I'm going to ask him about the Affordable Care Act. How affordable is it really? And what can we do different? Steve Moore next.
Ronald Reagan once famously said, "Government is not the solution, government is the problem." When it comes to economic growth, government can be a roadblock. With red tape, regulations, and subsidies, government stifles entrepreneurship and also props up businesses that deserve to go under. Unlike government, free markets encourage risk-taking, freedom to succeed or fail. Government shouldn't be picking winners and losers, the market should. Free markets benefit the business owner and the customer by encouraging competition. Free market enabled a young man named J.C. Hall selling picture postcards in Kansas City to turn his idea into Hallmark cards. In St. Louis, the free market made it possible for Adolphus Busch to turn his father-in-law's local beer into the world's largest brewery. A free market also means you get to send your kids to the school of your choice. Learn more about free markets at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloor.com. Shop local when you shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet. That's the nice thing about it. Family-owned business. You're doing a good thing when you shop at Michael's, mostly for yourself because quality and value, they find their home every day at Michael's Flooring Outlet. And folks listening to this show and the station for years and years, decades, have found Michael's Flooring Outlet to be exactly what you want your local business to be a family experience, one that's going to understand your hard-earned dollar and respect it, but also not sacrificing quality. When you invest in flooring from Michael's Flooring Outlet, you're going to trust that the quality is up to speed, that it is worthy of your hard-earned dollar. If you're shopping for carpet, the Smart Strand Mohawk Silk line of carpet has a silky softness to it that you are going to love experiencing in your home. And what is better than the smell of fresh carpet in a home? Reach out to Michael's Flooring Outlet at one of their 3 locations across the St. Louis area. You can go online right now to igotfloored.com.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Tune in to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A partial payment is coming. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. After 2 judges ruled food stamp assistance has to keep going, though it's not known yet how much contingency funding will be used or exactly when.
USDA officials argued they did not have the ability to pay for SNAP after November 1st because of the government shutdown. In a court filing, the Trump administration says it will partially fund SNAP, but it's not clear how much beneficiaries will receive or how quickly funds will show up on the debit cards used to purchase groceries.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. It's day 34 of the government shutdown, with partisan lines still drawn over Democrat demands to address health care costs now, and Republicans, including the president, arguing policy issues can be addressed after the shutdown ends. President Trump will help make the closing argument in 2 of tomorrow's closely watched elections, holding tele-rallies tonight for the Republicans running for governor in Virginia and New Jersey, where Jack Ciattarelli is a 3-time candidate who says the energy this time is different.
Off the charts good, off the charts fun. People are ready for change, and we're going to deliver that with a win on Tuesday night.
In the latest Fox News poll, he trails Democratic Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill by about 7 points.
It often feels like the future of this country, the future we're fighting for our children, comes down to New Jersey.
She's urging voters to make the race a referendum on the president. In California, voting wraps up tomorrow on Prop 50, the early redistricting effort aimed at helping Democrats and countering efforts in other states to redraw congressional maps in favor of Republicans. The plea deal for a Colorado funeral home owner accused of stashing nearly 200 bodies has just been rejected by a judge after family members of the deceased argued the proposed 15 to 20-year sentence would be too lenient. Carrie Halford and her husband pleaded guilty last year. The husband has since withdrawn his plea and is scheduled for trial. America is listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you got to make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This month, Pure Talk is supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat vets struggling with PTSD. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. Sure, I like the unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and you will too. But you will love being in business with a company that shares your values. Dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It's a good-looking Monday afternoon across St. Louis. Plenty of sunshine. Our temperature's a little bit above average. Let's look for a high near 65. Tonight, clear. It drops very quickly with our temperature 42 for the overnight low. Evening temperatures will be dropping into the 50s. On Tuesday, mostly sunny, 69 near 70 on Wednesday. Wednesday's also the full moon of November. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If you need a new furnace, get Carrier Cool Cash rebates and 0% financing so you'll be nice and cozy as the weather turns. For a free estimate on a new heating system, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Happy November. We're happy to be back here. The government is still shut down. And what the Democrats are saying that they want, what they need to get this government back open are subsidies to make sure that healthcare is still affordable for people in this country. And then the question mark, of course, is absolutely which people in America. That's a big point of argument between the parties. But I think that there's a really important conversation coming out of all of this, which is how affordable was the Affordable Care Act even to begin with? And I thought, gosh, I bet Steve Moore would like to talk about this. He's a distinguished fellow in economics at the Heritage Foundation. Steve, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you. I just want to open the floor to you and ask you about your thoughts on the way we're doing healthcare in this country and if the Democrats have the right solution to extend subsidies.
Oh, hi, Annie. Great to be with you. Hope you had a great Halloween.
Yes.
Listen, this is, I think the things we should really be afraid about is socialism. And we have socialism in our healthcare industry right now. Remember, as you said, they called that bill that we passed 15 years ago when Obama was president, the Affordable Care Act. And now we're looking at healthcare that's 3 times more expensive than when that bill passed. And many people are going to be paying $35,000 to $40,000 for healthcare this year because of that act that drove up prices so dramatically. And so why is this happening? Because we don't use the free enterprise system. We don't use competition. There's no price transparency in healthcare, and the costs are exploding. And frankly, the quality of care is not nearly keeping up with the increase in prices. So that's the situation today. And I think the Republicans need to stand firm here and say, look, all they're really talking about is making sure that people are getting Medicare and Medicaid and government subsidies are eligible for the programs. That's all they're saying. I mean, the federal government's own auditors, their own auditors say that about $160 billion is stolen from Medicaid every year by fraudsters. I mean, and the Democrats say don't cut anything out of the programs.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that they made the Affordable Care Act. It did exactly the same type of effect as the Inflation Reduction Act. Pay attention when these Democrats name these things.
Exactly.
But now
Right.
the Democrats need subsidies. They need to use government subsidies for the government subsidy of affordable health care. None of it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, beyond that, so what happened, again, there's so many different facets to the story, but during COVID, we passed an emergency and temporary, and by the way, nothing is temporary in Washington, as you know, but we passed a temporary expansion of Medicaid and Affordable Care Act subsidies because people were feeling, the pinch of this virus. But COVID ended 5 years ago, and those emergency and those, quote, temporary, unquote, subsidies, Trump saying, well, okay, COVID's over, let's go back to the system we had before. And they don't want to, and the Democrats have shut down the government now for what? We're more than 4 weeks into this shutdown because they want to make sure that those subsidies continue for another 5 or 10 or 20 years.
Yeah. Last question before we let you go. We appreciate your time. We're speaking with Steve Moore here. Is fixing healthcare, at least from a conservative, especially a fiscally conservative position, is it easy? Is it easy to fix the Affordable Care Act for Americans?
Everything's upside down in our healthcare system. By the way, the biggest lobbyists right now, Annie, for the expansions of the Obamacare subsidies, you know what it is? It's not even the low income groups, although the kind of some of the social welfare groups are. But the biggest advocates of this are the health insurance companies.
Yes.
Guess what? 70% of the money goes right into the coffers of the big health insurers. How does that help, the ordinary working man and woman? So, yes, the way to reform healthcare is really not that complicated. Insurance is supposed to be to insure against a traumatic event. Why do we have fire insurance in our house? Because if our house burns down, we want to be covered for that. People should be paying more out of pocket for, routine medical expenses. And then if you have a surgery or if you get cancer, or if you get a chronic disease or, something that requires huge expenditures, you're insured for that. And by the way, if we had that, we wouldn't need to spend all this money on health insurance. We would be much more cost conscious. When's the last time, when you saw a doctor or, somebody said you need the surgery? Do people shop around for that? Why can't we pay for healthcare the same way we pay for everything else we buy?
Well, because then the right people don't benefit financially, Steve.
Exactly.
you asked the question.
Man, you got it right. You got an A in economics today, Annie,
Well,
and great to be with you.
I appreciate you. That's because we're educated by Steve Moore. We always appreciate you. Thanks for being with us today.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye. The thing I would potentially push back if we had a longer opportunity to discuss this. And when I asked the question, is it easy to fix healthcare financially in this country? And he's like, well, yeah. I think that the argument, and I don't know enough about who made these arguments in the first place, like what parties, not necessarily like Republican, Democrat parties, but like, what do the physicians think? What do the insurance companies think? What do the advocates for the less fortunate think? But he's saying, like, if you are going to go have a physical done, a well visit, you should just pay out of pocket for that. We shouldn't be paying into a system that makes that, air quotes, free to go, covered. Because if your costs have skyrocketed and now you can go get certain sort of, like, everything wellness is supposed to be covered. And remember, covered is not free. Somebody is paying for it, likely you with your exponentially increased premiums that you're paying, some more than others. But I remember specifically the argument being, if more people felt as though wellness care was accessible, we would be healthier. It would be more affordable to cover wellness visits, vaccination access, annual physicals where you could find something maybe earlier than later after it is going to be a much higher expense in the medical region, that it would be more affordable to cover that. People would be healthier. Therefore, our overall healthcare costs would go down. What Steve Moore is just saying there is you should have coverage in an emergency basis, which I understand, like your car insurance, God willing, you never use it. Isn't that weird? You're paying X amount of dollars every month and hoping to never have to use the thing that you're paying hundreds of dollars for on a regular basis. Homeowners insurance, same thing. Hope you never have to make a claim. And if you have to make a claim, guess what's going to happen to your monthly? Whoop, going up. Health insurance, you pay into it and you're using it all of the time. And that everybody is the people who are able to use health insurance and access things where if that insurance is provided to them because it's fully subsidized by whom? The taxpayers, who are also paying their own premiums. What if we didn't do that? I don't have the answer. If the question that I just asked Steve Moore is asked of me, is it easy to fix healthcare? The answer is no. I can't imagine that it would be. From a sensible standpoint, but then obviously from a political standpoint, you'd have to have something that would be able to be passed. Certainly not with the majority that the Republicans have razor thin in the House and the Senate with a 3-seat majority. I can't imagine that Dr. Senator Rand Paul, his version of what should be paid for and covered is going to look a lot like what Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski in the Republican Party think, let alone pick off a few Democrats and say, here, you need to agree to this to the tune. We can't even agree across parties to end the shutdown. How are they going to come together to agree on healthcare? I will say that there's one caveat that I think right now could make this possible. And that is that Donald Trump would be willing to make a deal. He understands the 80% of the compromise. The deal maker in Donald Trump. If anybody was going to be able to get this done, I think Trump could do it.
Get the government shutdown over
No,
or
healthcare. Fix healthcare. Fix the cost of healthcare. If anybody was willing to look specifically the Republicans in the eye and say, get over yourself, we need to fix this and we need to fix it now, and tell Republicans to get on board with something that isn't, I say wholly with the W in front of it, pure fiscal conservatism, but maybe is much better than socialized medicine and an Affordable Care Act, I think Donald Trump could get that done to where he could get maybe a few people on the Democrat side of the aisle to come across and be a part of something really big. After the midterms next year, when Donald Trump is a lame duck, I think President Trump, as long as he doesn't lose his majorities, the Senate is a Republican favored election in the midterm. The House, we shall see. I think if somebody was going to be able to get this job done, folks, he brought a peace deal to the Middle East and had Arabs and Jews praising him at the same time. It should be a leap further than Republicans and Democrats in Washington, D.C. Should be. Will it be? I'm not holding my breath.
I would love to see Republicans come up with an absolutely fantastic healthcare plan. I mean, while Steve Moore was talking, I was writing this down. I'm thinking, Dems' solutions to healthcare are just more of this. They don't have any solutions either. It's not as if all Republicans don't have a solution.
I'm waiting for the Democrats to stop calling themselves Democrat socialists and start calling themselves socialist Democrats.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. But in the meantime, while the politics is trying to take care of this, the free market is starting to. It'll take too long. It's not as if you can do this entirely with free market at this point because the government's too intertwined. But you're seeing this already, that individual doctors, mostly specialists, are just deciding we're going to be a practice that does not accept healthcare or insurance at all. And so
what do they call it? Boutique. And there's another word for it.
Oh, is there? I didn't know there's a word for it.
Yeah.
So you're seeing that happen. And again, it's mostly specialists because they know, look, if you're going to get X thing done, you have to come to me and we'll work with you. And the prices overall, much lower than if you were doing it through insurance, unless it was completely covered. So it's starting to happen. It's just a matter of, will that happen, like you were saying, Annie, with general care, with your general practitioner, with getting your checkups done, your average stuff. That shouldn't really be a part. We're talking about, we should have a system that only covers you when you're getting the big stuff, and that's by choice. You're not compelled to buy it. You choose to buy it.
I wonder if there are any people listening right now who are healthcare providers, concierge. Gosh dang it. I got a man out there. Thanks, Ben. Assistant producer Ben. Concierge, thank you. I wonder if there are medical providers that are out there right now listening who offer that concierge service on a variety of things. I would really like to hear from you. You can email me directly at anniefryshow@gmail.com, or you can go to anniefryshow.com and click on the contact thing. I'd like to talk to you about it because I know several medical providers who do that. I know... I will tell you, as somebody who's had 4 babies plus 1 miscarriage and have gone through the OBGYN circuit multiple times just due to all of the humans that I have created in my belly, it was wild to watch. Charlie was born in 2009, in December of 2009. So the arc with which things were covered and not covered, but more specifically, the ability for my doctor to provide me the care that he wanted to give me, compared to, this is what I would like you to do. Now let's fight the insurance companies because this is the medication you need to stop puking your brains out every single day. It was called Diclegis. I tried, I think 3 or 4 Zofran. I can't remember all the other ones that I tried. 3 or 4 different types of medications. Diclegis was a name brand only. It was too new to have generic out there, and it worked. It gave me my life back. During my pregnancy, I think it was with maybe Evelyn. I think it was my 3rd. I don't know if it was my 2nd quite yet. And it saved me. And when I got pregnant, I think it was with Molly the 2nd time around, same symptoms for me, puking morning and night. And the doctor is like, let's get you back on this stuff. And the insurance company said, no, you cannot have this until you go through all of these different medications first, because it was more affordable for the healthcare. My doctor knew that I had already been through this circuit. It did not help me. And he didn't want to pump me full of a bunch of other medications when he knew what was going to work and it was still available. And it was the lowest point emotionally of my pregnancy was when I went off on some insurance person on the phone trying, like, you need to get prior authorization and you need to take these medicines. And I'm like, who are you to tell me what I need to take when I am miserable every day? And I go see my doctor who knows my full medical history and is saying, you need this. And the insurance company is saying, that doesn't work for our pocketbook. So I'm supposed to jump through a bunch of stupid hoops so that the insurance company is satisfied. Who is the actual customer here?
Yeah.
And that is one small me trying not to barf my brains out multiple times every day of my life for probably the total of about 6.5, 7 months. I would have lived through that. I would have been miserable. I would have lived through that. But there are people who are having these conversations and they're trying to outlive cancer. And it is, I mean, if the Republican Party wanted to come together and bring a bipartisan, the 80% of the Republicans and the 80% of the Democrat voters that are out there to come together to reshape the system, not make this crap version of what we have better, reshape the system. I think that would be an incredibly unifying effort for America to try to revamp the healthcare system. Now, if Donald Trump does it, there's some people who are going to be like, he's trying to kill us. He's trying to kill us all. But the healthcare system in our country is universally despised. I mean, everybody who has a story like I do, and most people do, you can flip a switch and people become immediately enraged thinking about the last time they had to get on the phone with their health insurance company.
Well, because even if it ends well, even if you get done with all that process and they tell you what you want to hear and okay, great, it got approved and all that, you had to spend the equivalent of a full-time job for 3 weeks on the phone and finding paperwork and all that crap to get to that point. It's such a mess, and they do it on purpose because they know, if we add one little step here, there's a better chance that we won't have to pay for it.
You're paying skyrocketing premiums. You're going to see all the healthcare specialists that you need to try to get the thing done. All you're trying to do is care for yourself and put yourself in the hands of the best medical providers that you know, and the insurance company seems to get the final say. It is maddening, super maddening. I'm very blessed to be on the whole, very healthy person, but from pregnancy standpoint, man, I was hormonally vulnerable, people. And I was going to say that poor insurance rep got the brunt of it, but they were mean to me. And so I was like, I think I'm going to be mean to you back. And you're playing with a fire here that you are not prepared for. So sit down. When I run for office one day, someone's going to find that tape.
Yeah, well,
we'd like to record your conversation to help our services in the future. All right, let's take a quick break. We're going to speak with Congressman Eric Burlison less than 10 minutes from now. We'll be back a little bit before that. We're going to ask him about the government shutdown, certainly. And I want to know about the Autopen scandal. Of course, he's a member of the House Oversight Committee. Is this serious? Do people look at, a lot of people from the outside looking in are going to say this looks like you're picking on an old fart, which is why they didn't charge him, honestly, for a crime in the first place, because he was a well-intentioned old crusty man. I don't know if they say crusty. Was that in there? I can't remember. Yes?
It's in The Simpsons.
Krusty the Clown. If you know, you know. We'll be right back. Don't go away. RetirementKey.com. Visit the website right now to learn what Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw, what they all have to offer you in protecting your retirement. How does it work? You call 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494 and talk to the Retirement Advisory Group about setting up an appointment. You're going to get a free review of your retirement. You can get a free copy of their latest edition book, Your Key to a Free Retirement, so you can do a little more education on your own part there. But they're going to talk to you about how they can create for you a structured, personalized income plan Figure out how to make sure that your dollars that you've worked really hard to save and invested are going to work for you through an entire retirement that you are going to be excited about, that you're going to love, that you're going to thrive in. Schedule this appointment at 314-993-9494 and tell them Annie sent you. Call Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw at the Retirement Advisory Group. Find them online at retirementkey.com.
Hurt in a motorcycle accident? You need someone who knows St. Louis, who's about St. Louis. You need Kaufman Townsley, your hometown injury lawyers. We're here for real people with real results. Kaufman Townsley, St. Louis Injury Lawyers. Call 314-500-5000.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. What do you have to lose? Call 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Now, back to the Annie Fry Show. Real talk for real people. 97.1 FM Talk.
Take it back to Saturday. I was in a K-hole, laying out in the pouring rain, on and on and on. No, no, I could take the sky away, put it in a payphone, calling out all my mistakes. 'Cause don't stop making it happen. 'Cause you're the only one who don't stop.
One of the big things is it helps decide congressional maps.
Right.
Does this have everything to do with redistricting?
Well, it does. In fact, we know the 2020 census, the errors were almost always to the detriment of red states. Blue states like Rhode Island.
Do we know that?
We do know that. The Census Bureau's own audit of its work has proven that. Blue states like Rhode Island were overcounted. Rhode Island then didn't lose a seat. Red states like Alabama were undercounted. Listen, this is just a fact. It wasn't all red-blue, but it was disproportionately red-blue.
So there's Brad. What's his name? Brad Todd.
One of the big things is it helps.
You never trust a man who's got 2 first names. That's what everybody tells you when you're dating people. Brad Todd.
Like in a dating app.
Oh, yeah. You don't, because it's not the real name. Todd is probably his middle name.
Yeah.
And he's a Republican strategist on CNN, so he doesn't want his cover fully blown.
Yeah, I'm Tom Ron.
Yeah. Todd is, I mean, no offense out there to you folks who have the middle name Todd, but that's kind of a weird middle name.
Unless you are the former First Lady of America married to Abraham Lincoln.
I don't know that was a middle name.
Mary Todd Lincoln? Maybe it was her original last name.
I'm assuming that it was her last name.
Either way, I like calling her Todd.
But at the same time, you've made a point that someone did have a last name Todd, so maybe that's his real last name. But you still shouldn't trust him.
I don't trust her.
Mary Todd Lincoln?
Yeah.
Who you were.
Yeah.
Anyway, on CNN, he's like,
for Halloween.
We've noticed, it's obvious that during the 2020 census, certainly, that all of the counting errors went one way. And she goes, do we know that? And he's like, we know that. This is a guy on CNN. And when you're looking at different places, different districts or different states that are looking at doing different districting coming up here, you got to ask yourself, do the Democrats have a lot of runway to manipulate the system to benefit themselves? And the truth is that really not a whole lot of runway left. Maybe a few tweaks here and there. But if the Republicans were going to go ham on the idea of districting in red states the way Democrats have in blue states, Democrats are in deep doo-doo. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in the show. When we come back, we're going to speak with Congressman Eric Burlison, who's going to join us. We're going to talk about the government shutdown, what he wants to see happen, if there's any compromise that he thinks is workable here to get the government reopened, or Democrats need to show up and do their jobs. We're also going to talk about his membership to the House Oversight Committee and the Autopen scandal that continues week after week to get a little more nefarious for how the Biden administration operated. Eric Burlison, congressman representing Missouri's 7th Congressional District, next.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Lights flickering?
Grasser can fix it.
Breaker keeps tripping?
That's a Grasser job.
Outlet not working?
Grasser makes it right.
Old wiring need a rewire?
Grasser rewires with care.
From little fixes to major fixes.
Even the tricky ones.
We treat your home like our own.
Treat? Did you say treat?
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeServices.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
No need to get technical on heating and cooling. We all want our houses to cool, correct? When it's heating season, we want them to heat, correct? There's not much more to it than that, but I can give you some pointers and tips on the efficiencies, meaning the efficiencies of your house, what you can do to make your house more efficient, and then deciding on what system to purchase, therefore maximizing every single dollar you spent for a furnace and air conditioner. Not spending maximum dollars on a furnace and air conditioner because you're told of an efficiency rating, and that's it. So again, a common sense approach. When you start getting prices for new furnace and air conditioners, call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Again, Missouri and Illinois, the only number, 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? A couple comments to pull from here. One says no. This is from Timothy. He says the filibuster is in place to protect the parties not in majority in the Senate. What happens when Republicans are in the minority? The Dems would push more of their, in parentheses, stupid agenda. All right, well, what do you think about this? The president wants to get rid of it. Where do you stand? That's why we're asking you today where you, or if you would like to get rid of the filibuster in the Senate. It is 1:33. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
Built in the heartland, for the heartland. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Run away with me. Lost soul to reverie. Running wild and running free. Two kids, you and me.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It's November 3rd. It's exciting to be here with you. We're glad that you are here with us. As the news cycle continues to churn, there's one story that continues to be at the top, and that is a persistent government shutdown that I'm curious how many of you folks listening right now have now experienced part of the government shutdown affecting your daily life. Some people haven't been paid for a month, because the Democrats have refused to pass the continuing resolution that is now waning in time to even be effective. Let's talk to a representative who knows all about it. Congressman Eric Burlison back with us, representing Missouri's 7th Congressional District. He's also a member of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, thanks for the time today, and we appreciate you being here with us.
Hey, Annie. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So where are you spending the government shutdown? Are you in district? Are you at the Capitol? How are you spending this time where government has not been open?
Yeah, and I've had to go to the Capitol for a few meetings that I didn't want to put off. Some important meetings that I finally was able to get, and so I've done that. But outside of that, I try to stay as much in my district as possible, because it's good for my sanity, and then B, it's really, I think it's important that I be able to continue those relationships, go to the meetings, go to the clubs, the community events, and be able to reconnect with the people that I represent. And so it's been actually for me a good experience. I really feel bad for the workers who are not getting paid. It's a horrible thing that the Democrats are putting us through. We're the adults in the room. Mm-hmm. Republicans are the ones that said, let's just, instead of having this fight about what we're going to spend money on, let's just continue the current spending levels, the same ones that you guys passed several months ago. And they're the ones that are thumbing their nose at this. And at the end of the day, they're the ones harming the federal workers and the American people, because they've got a ridiculous list of demands.
So we're speaking with Congressman Eric Burlison right now. And, I think you and I talked maybe very close to when the government shut down, maybe just a day or two into it. And you were saying that a lot of people in your district, they're really not bothered by the government shutdown. They don't like the way the government's spending money to begin with. So there was an initial thought. I know from a lot of listeners to our show too, that like the government shutdown is not the worst thing that could happen, but we're 34 days into this thing now. And, we understand that SNAP benefits have not been paid out. Now there's an argument going back and forth with the courts on that. We know our military is doing their job and we need to make sure that they get paid as well. it's affecting more people. I'm curious if you feel as though the people in Missouri's 7th congressional district are changing their mind or their tune on this at all this far in.
Annie, we've been really surprised and encouraged by the district because everywhere I go, the people continually say, keep it up. Don't give in to the ridiculous demands of the Democrats. And it just gives me the confidence to know that my district is with me. And I think that, it's true. I mean, a lot of the things that most people experience have not been impacted. So most people don't even notice that there's a shutdown. But it doesn't mean that there is harm that isn't being done. I mean, the people that are employed, the TSA workers, the air traffic controllers, our military personnel, to me, it's not appropriate that we're not going to fund their salaries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm reading a comment here from somebody watching us on the YouTube live broadcast from Laura. She said, my husband is working, but we've missed 2 full paychecks and a third of his paycheck at the beginning of October. For those people who are working and not being paid right now, I would assume that there will be back pay whenever the government reopens again. Is that what you anticipate happening for people who are normally federally compensated for their work? Will they get their back pay?
Yeah, absolutely. They will get their back pay. And I know a lot of the staff, I know the Federal Credit Union, which is a credit union that's available to federal workers, they provide a service where they're able to provide these loans that to the amount of what your paycheck would have been at a very, very minimal cost. And so that's horrible that people would have to take that step, but at least there's comfort in knowing that there's services available.
Congressman Burlison speaking with us right now. My understanding is that folks in Congress still do get a check during this time. Is that correct?
The Constitution requires that we are paid.
Can you speak to that?
Even if you, when you hear people that say, I'm rejecting my salary. Well, you're not rejecting your salary. You're basically paying all of your taxes, in that time period. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a false thing to say that. But that's unfortunately, and I would love to change that, Annie. I think that if Congress doesn't not only keep the government open, but if they don't pass a balanced budget, I think that our salaries should be diminished.
Yeah.
I think there's got to be some kind of motivating factor to kind of bring this place into fiscal sanity.
You're a member of the Freedom Caucus as well, Congressman Eric Burlison with us right now. You've spoken very consistently about reining in spending and a lot of the compromises that have had to have been made, maybe with the big, beautiful bill on fiscal needs. I always hear you asking for more responsibility in fiscal conservatism in the way that you represent the 7th District in Congress. The big issue, the main issue, at least, that the Democrats seem to be leading on, pushing back and keeping the government shut down, are the extension of subsidies to make healthcare affordable for people who are going to see those premiums skyrocket here shortly. Is there a Republican, at least even conceptually, is there a Republican answer for the Affordable Care Act to make healthcare affordable and good in the United States?
Absolutely. How much time have we got? Because
I'm here till 3, and I can ask Mark Rude to join us. So
okay. So this is a topic I'm very passionate about. I worked as a healthcare IT consultant for 20 plus years, and have seen everything. Like when you're kind of an objective observer, and you're able to see the waste and that occurs within the healthcare system, where there's opportunities for improvement. And so I'll tell you, Obamacare is a total disaster. It's designed to almost make it like a restaurant that you go to, where no one cares about what the bill is because somebody else is paying. So if you go with a group of friends to a restaurant and the waiter comes by and says, hey, some anonymous donor is paying for whatever the price of the meal is, then no one at the table is worried about the price on the menu. They will over order. There will probably be much more food bought than needed to be there. And the waiter has every incentive in the world to continue to bring out everything that they possibly can because they get 15%. And in this analogy, insurance companies are the waiter. Insurance companies are allowed to charge 15%. So why would when they passed this, they moved insurance companies from being in the profit motive of trying to drive down healthcare costs to joining the healthcare industry in jacking up the costs. And the American people are the ones that are paying the bill, and something has to give. That's why these tax credits that the Democrats want to extend are really, it's money that's going to the insurance carriers. It has almost no impact on people's premiums. So if anything, we're throwing almost $500 million. $500 billion is what it would cost. $500 billion to continue these, COVID era subsidies for a program that is a complete disaster. And the free market solution, Annie, is something that I'm putting forward to create a better opportunity where people purchase their health insurance on their own. So you would have an account. You can pick whatever insurance policy you want. You go out on the market and shop, just like you do with your car insurance. And your employer, rather than doing an employer-sponsored plan, can write a check into your account and fund the whatever insurance policy that you want. Like if you want a policy with Blue Cross, and that includes your network, maybe your network is a BJC.
That would make you be able to choose your doctor.
Yes, you can choose your doctor. You can choose the pharmacies that you go to. Choose your if you want a PBM, you can pick a PBM. If you don't like that, you won't have to do that. If you want to do a MediShare program, you can do MediShare. If you want to join an association plan, it would suddenly free open the market, and people would be able to shop and find the insurance product that meets their personal needs, as opposed to what the employer does, which finds a one-size-fits-all solution for employees. This plan would allow for people, maybe if you're not employed or you're self-employed, you should be able to get the same tax deductions, put money into a plan, purchase your insurance, and then, Annie, this is the beautiful part. All money that's not utilized in these would automatically become health savings accounts.
Oh.
So it would be growing interest-free. You can use those funds on things like, direct primary care, co-pays, deductibles. Imagine right now you don't get a tax deduction for your co-pays or your high deductibles, but what if you could?
Yeah.
And that's the free market solution that I think we've all been looking for.
Another thing that I'm thinking about, and I see on parallel paths the healthcare system, the way it's set up right now, and then also the higher education system, where the federal government subsidizes to the point where the free market doesn't really compete, because in both instances you're almost guaranteeing clients or customers of the American people. And when the Affordable Care Act guaranteed insurance companies that everybody was going to be a customer, that takes away the incentive for healthcare companies to say, well, I want the most customers over here, so I'm going to offer X benefits. But in the midst of all of this, at the same time, when you're guaranteeing coverage for medical procedures, in both the instance of healthcare, the cost of care, the cost to have a baby, the cost to have a surgery, the cost to have cancer treatments, there's not a real significant element in the whole structure that makes those costs, A, have to make any sense to me, or B, have to be competitive. And the same goes with our higher education system, where, if every 18-year-old can sign a loan document for X amount of money, and we can fund the education, at a six-figure school so that you can have a liberal studies degree, there's no sense to it. Then why would the cost of education ever come down to a more reasonable place? There's no free market competition to actually make it affordable for the customer. It just makes it profitable for the entities that the government is subsidizing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the university racket, they're being subsidized in multiple ways. They're getting checks from their state. If it's a state-funded pro school, right? You've got subsidies for any of the loans that through the federal government. In fact, all of them are now federal loans. The individual gets the tax deduction, which does kind of perverse the market as well. So the whole thing is highly subsidized, and all it does, the bigger the government, the more the government gets involved in an industry, eventually the only thing that can afford that industry is government. And that's the market that we have both in the university system and in our healthcare system.
Well, Congressman Burlison, I'm happy to hear that you are energized about this, because I would like to continue this conversation as we work through whatever ends up happening with the government shutdown, whatever the Democrats end up continuing to hold hostage, or if Republicans decide to capitulate in some way. The insurance conversation, the healthcare conversation is going to be at the forefront, and we look forward to talking to you about it again very soon.
Yeah, anytime. Somebody has to kind of lead and put the policy forward, and that's what we're looking to do, is be that policy nerd. And Dr. Bob Onder is going to be a great ally in that as well.
Yes, certainly. We'll also get back to you on the Autopen situation. That's a big story as well. We didn't have time for it today. Congressman Burlison, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Annie.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Eric Burlison, the representative from Missouri's 7th Congressional District, member of the House Oversight Committee. I'm really interested in if you could solve one of two things, the healthcare industry or the Autopen scandal, which would you really actually prefer get solved first?
Well, healthcare.
Obviously.
Yeah. As much as I would love to see that Autopen stuff.
Yeah. And
healthcare is such a big deal.
And an if or yes, it affects every single person the same. All right. Went long with him there, but happy to have him on the show. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
You've made our 25th anniversary something to remember.
That's right. We've celebrated these last few weeks along with you, both on the air and in person.
And we want to say thanks for making it happen.
This is St. Louis Conservative, 97.1 FM Talk.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Tony LaRussa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
If your kitchen's not even functional and you can't stand the look of your bathroom, stop just living around the problem. Let Lakeside Renovation and Design help you love your home again. From spa-like bathrooms to these beautiful, functional, custom kitchens to a finished basement, their in-house team over there at Lakeside, they're going to help bring any vision you have to life. They're going to walk you through every step of the process, the planning, the permits, all the things we don't like to do. They take care of it. You just have to dream. And they have financing options like 0 payments, 0% interest for 24 months. Schedule your free consultation today. It's lakesiderd.com.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants. So
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Is it super boring to talk about health insurance on the radio?
Yeah. But I also think that there are a lot of people that care. And so you lean in a little bit because you know how much it could impact you.
You think I was boring?
No. I'm really caught here between saying yes and no.
I just want your honesty. I'm okay with it. I can handle it.
I think it was boring. As a topic, if you say, here's what we're going to talk about, I don't think anybody goes, all right. However, once you get into it, you're like, actually, this is pretty important. So better talk about it.
No, leave that open. We're going to die. Yes, it's loud out there. We're having a little bit of a heat situation in our old building here in downtown St. Louis. Not as bad as what we hear some of the other stations in the building are having. But we're trying
some
to
of the
fix it.
stations sound like they are actively we're close to sweating right now.
Let me just put it this way. You know the movie Airplane? You know when he's flying the plane and it's getting really precarious? I think that's the way that the folks down the hallway look right now while they're trying to broadcast radio.
Yeah. We still look great.
Ryan is still his traditional glowing self.
Yeah. Got that little just post-pregnant glow.
Excuse me?
However, I was not pregnant, but I'm comparing it to that because I look that good. My hair is nice and thick. I can smell bears from far away. All the stuff associated with pregnancy, but I was not pregnant.
What is the matter with you? Bears?
That's what they say when you're pregnant. You
I
can
have been
smell...
pregnant way more times than you, and I've never heard of smelling bears.
Oh, you got to smell. You get an increased sense of smell. You know this.
But what is the bears?
Because there might be a predator nearby, like a bear, and you got to be able to smell whether something's coming to eat your kid. You got to be able to do that. And so that's why God gave you that gift while you're
Steve
pregnant.
to come in here. The heat is getting to Ryan. It's getting to him. It's actually affecting the quality of the show.
Let me break this down a little bit. Let's decompress for a second. And I'll just ask you this. Is your sense of smell better during pregnancy or not, or when you're not pregnant?
I would argue that it's worse.
During pregnancy?
Yes.
Why?
Because you can smell everything. It sucks.
Exactly. It means it's better. And you can notice
it doesn't.
When there's, for instance, some crazy person coming toward you who smells bad.
Crazy people don't by definition smell bad. And good people don't by definition smell good.
Sometimes they do.
You are drunk.
What about a bear? What
about a bear?
Listen, again, we're sort of deconstructing this.
We're deconstructing. We are destructing.
Did a bear ever attack you while you were pregnant?
Yes.
Now you got me. I don't know where to go from that.
I took it though.
Because I had a perfect argument lined up, and you deconstructed it even. You deconstructed everything.
I could smell it coming.
I know the answer is you never got attacked by a bear in any of your pregnancies because you could smell.
You don't know me.
I think we've talked about this particular issue before.
Yeah, when I got attacked by a bear. Something you'd absolutely tell everybody. Okay. All I was saying is it is toasty in here, and we are trying. If you hear a little background noise, that's just Ethan and talking to all his friends.
He's got too many friends.
He's super popular. Ryan keeps trying to sabotage him.
I don't like that he's popular.
Why not? Is it because of his flowing ginger locks?
Well, that's part of it. But also, I just don't. I want to be the popular guy, and I feel like Ethan's the popular guy.
I'm going to ask you a real serious question. Have you ever been the popular guy?
No.
that was a really sad journey, but to know.
I felt that one in my
core. I was never hated. But I don't know that I was never the captain of the football team. I was never the guy.
I would venture to say that people who think that they want to be popular, that there is a reasonable percentage of them that when they achieved some level of popularity would actually rather do without it.
You know what, though? It's just like being rich.
Eating?
Everybody is like, oh, money's the root of all evil, but I want to find out myself.
Prove it. Prove that I don't want all the money in the world. Do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? Get on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote. We'll have those results in about an hour. Don't go away.
Thinking about a bath remodel or swapping that old tub for a sleek, easy-to-clean shower? It's Mark Reardon from Michael's Baths with one question. What's there to think about? Michael's beats the competition by 30 to 50%, uses top quality materials, and backs it all with over 30 years of experience. And now they're going to throw in a free shower door or $500 off. Schedule your free in-home consultation today, 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com. That's michaelsbass.com.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Great news. Corel Roofing is going to partner with Sergeant Sparkles to install Christmas lighting on your home this year. Mark Cox here. Who better to get up on your roof to install lights than a roofing company? But wait, there's more. While they're up there, if they see some minor damage or an issue that needs attention, they're going to do that minor repair at no charge to get you through the winter. That provides pretty amazing value to get a small problem fixed at no charge while you get ready for the Christmas season. Now's also a good time for that full roof inspection. If you didn't get around to getting your roof inspected after the storms earlier this year, this is the time to schedule that. Even if the weather's too cold to have the roof replaced, you will be first on the list when warmer weather comes around in early spring. Call Curtis at Corel Roofing. Schedule your Christmas light installation and your roof inspection right now. That's 314-222-9529 or CorelRoofingCo.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
The government shutdown is heading for a record. Lisa Brady, Fox News, the longest ever after midnight tonight, and both sides remain dug in. Texas Senator John Cornyn telling Fox,
"We keep looking for some rational behavior on the part of the Democrats who shut down the government, but it was a dumb idea to start with, and it hasn't gotten any better since."
Republicans still urging Democrats to reopen government with a short-term spending bill that's been stuck in the Senate. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says healthcare costs must be addressed now with Obamacare subsidies expiring.
In some cases, $1,000 or $2,000 more per month that working class Americans are being asked to pay. No one can afford it.
The House passed stopgap bill is set for a 14th test vote in the Senate tomorrow, but it would only extend current funding to November 21st. In the meantime, the administration says in a court filing it will partially cover food stamp assistance after court rulings last week, but the timing and amount are not yet known. The administration faces another multi-state lawsuit, this time over new rules for a student loan relief program.
A group of 22 Democratic attorneys general accused the Education Department of weaponizing the federal public service loan forgiveness program.
First, he weaponized our schools, hospitals, military. Now he's coming for hardworking people who've devoted their careers to doing good in the world.
California Attorney General Rob Bonta says President Trump's loan forgiveness plan is unlawful and politically motivated. An agency rule published last week restricts the types of professions eligible for public service loan forgiveness, excluding employers the administration says are engaged in unlawful activities, including the aiding and abetting of illegal immigration.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The states also argue the changes could have a chilling effect on people choosing to pursue public service careers. America is listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This month, Pure Talk is supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat vets struggling with PTSD. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. Sure, I like the unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and you will too. But you will love being in business with a company that shares your values. Dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It's a good-looking Monday afternoon across St. Louis. Plenty of sunshine. Our temperature's a little bit above average. Let's look for a high near 65. Tonight, clear. It drops very quickly with our temperature. 42 for the overnight low. Evening temperatures will be dropping into the 50s. On Tuesday, mostly sunny, 69 near 70 on Wednesday. Wednesday's also the full moon of November. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 56 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance and installation, and heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. AirComfortService.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, welcome back. Happy 2:04 p.m. here, November in St. Louis and everywhere you're listening now. Excited to be with you on the eve of those elections we've been hearing a lot about. They are important elections. Of course, they're not here, but we're talking about the mayor race in New York City. We're talking about the governor race in New Jersey, the governor race in Virginia, among others. My understanding is there's a mayor running in Minneapolis, maybe, and there's a mayor running in Oregon somewhere, maybe. And they're all very socialist heavy individuals. People are like, oh, it's just another Mamdani. It's just not in New York City, which is our biggest city. All of this matters. All of this is important. And I'm going to say, if any of these individuals don't win their election, that is earth shaking in the political sphere. I am going to be looking at how close the Republicans actually compete in these elections, because the only Republican that I think has a shot really in all of this is the Jersey governor. And, maybe Chitterelli can pull it off. But if he comes close, people still need to understand it's a good look for the future of the Republican Party. These are places that Republicans aren't supposed to compete in, let alone possibly win. And the amount of national coverage that's been given to them, mostly because, of course, Jersey and New York City and Virginia, they're all right by the big places where all the things happen. New York City being the number one largest city in our country. And then, of course, Virginia having so much connection with Washington, D.C. that am I managing expectations? I'm not managing them. I'm just telling you what mine are. I don't think that the Republicans are going to pull off these races. If they do, New Jersey is the most likely one. And there is not going to be a better comparison in the country about what each party has to offer than New York City socialist mayor Zoran Mamdani with people who can pick up and move right across the bay over into New Jersey, led by then Republican Governor Chitterelli, should he win that opportunity. People are going to have a very stark understanding, much like we do right here in St. Louis, the blue east side of the river, the red west side of the river, at least once you get out of St. Louis City. People have the option to relocate, and they will, given Mamdani's victory and a potential Chitterelli victory. I think these are really, really important things that we can pay attention to. But I really do want to say, if Democrats win these elections tomorrow, that's what's supposed to happen. That is what we anticipate happening. And if that gets flipped if that script gets flipped, that is going to be a very, very big news story. So we'll watch, we'll see what happens. Of course, tomorrow is election day in those places, and we'll get to the bottom of it. I wanted to play a clip here, a conversation between Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, because one of the things that I'm finding the most interesting, it doesn't usually, there'll be a revelation and that will lead in the news for the day, but then something else happens. But it's kind of a slow burn and a drip, drip, drip of discovery into how our bureaucratically bloated government has operated for so long. How has, regardless of who becomes president, how has the bureaucracy continued to be fed to the point where it grows and it grows and it grows against the beneficiary of those who fund the government, you, the taxpayer? Now, Elon Musk was back on Joe Rogan's show, and he was talking about Doge, and he was talking about how Social Security numbers were used. You know, if somebody was 200 years old and those numbers were still on the books, you'll hear the left say, well, they're not actually collecting Social Security. Well, he kind of explains why maybe those Social Security numbers were allowed to be on the book.
That's the nature of the scam. It's a bank shot. So then the rebuttal from the Dems is like, oh, well, the vast majority of the people who are marked as live in the Social Security Administration weren't receiving Social Security Administration payments. That is true. What they forgot to mention is they're getting fraudulent payments from every other government program.
So to interrupt Elon Musk there, they don't forget to mention that. They certainly are intentionally not mentioning that. They can say with truth and sincerity that even though there are individuals out there whose birthdays are putting them in like way past Guinness Book of World Records for like the longest life lived, those people are obviously not out there cashing their Social Security checks, but those numbers still deem useful for the purpose that he suggests here that the bureaucracy, often benefiting the Democrat Party, would use them for.
And that's why the Dems were so opposed to turning off, to declaring someone dead who was dead, because it would stop the entire all the other fraud from happening.
And so, but all this, is it trackable? Like all this other fraud,
It's
if
totally
they wanted
trackable.
to, they could chase it all down.
Yeah, it's not even hard.
And yet they're opposing chasing it all down.
They're opposing chasing it all down because it turns off the money magnet for the illegals.
Wow.
Because it's very logical to like I'm saying the most common sense things possible. If someone's got a birthday in Social Security that is an impossible birthday, meaning they are older than the oldest living American or were born in the future, then you should call them and say, excuse me, we seem to have your birthday wrong because it says that you're 200 years old. That's all you need to do. And
then you would remove them from the Social Security database and make that number no longer available for all those other government payments.
Exactly.
So what they're saying is these government identification numbers, the Social Security numbers, they don't get shut off when people die. They are kept in rotation. Now, for all of the other government programs that exist out there where you could all you do is put in a Social Security number and then you can get access to taxpayer funded government programs. To Elon Musk's point, you could call someone and say, we have your birthday. We believe we have your birthday wrong in our database. Could you please confirm your birthday? You could just have them have to confirm it. First of all, would they even know what the birthday listed there was? And if they confirmed it and said it was a different year, you could confirm that person's identity. If there is an actual clerical mistake that exists in the system, you would rectify it and you would move on. But how many of those are intentionally being abused in order to fund the presence of people here in this country who are not citizens, who are living off these 200-year-old Social Security numbers and living off the government, i.e. the taxpayer?
Wow. And how much money are we talking?
It's hundreds of billions of dollars.
And this is all traceable. Like you could hunt all this down.
Like you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes here, is what I'm saying.
Well,
we don't need to call Sherlock Holmes for this one.
Is this part of
the? We just need to call the person. And say, excuse me, we seem to have the we must have your birthday wrong because it says you're 200 years old or were born in the future. So could you tell us what your birthday is? That's what we need to do. It's that simple.
But all these other government payments that are available that are connected to the Social Security number, it seems like if you just chased that all down, you would find the widespread fraud. You would find where it's going.
Yes, but the root of the problem is the Social Security Administration database, because the Social Security number in the United States is used as a de facto national ID number. That's why, like, the bank always asks for your social. So, like, any financial institution will ask for your Social Security number.
It sounds so insane that this isn't chased down. I mean,
I agree.
That in and of itself that's such mishandling.
Yes.
So listen to what Elon Musk is saying there and understand that he's giving away the system here that has been abused intentionally. Now, if I were going to listen to someone explain how the system is being used against taxpayers, I would trust Elon Musk, because Mr. Doge himself has seen the books. He's looked behind the curtain, and he would frequently talk, especially when he first joined the administration at the beginning of, initially right after the inauguration, about so many of the things they'd be looking for A, and then they'd find B, C, D, and E of different ways that the system was being used against the taxpayers, and the amount of dollars that are going out of the coffers that belong to the American people into these ridiculous things. They'd stumble upon them all the time because there are so many of them. One commenter says no checks were issued to the deceased Americans Musk is talking about. Precisely. I appreciate the commenter making this point, because that's exactly what Elon Musk is saying. The people who like this system, the people who need this system in order to fund the people who need to be here in order to provide votes and political power to the Democrats who have established a bureaucracy that exists regardless if the Democrats are in power or not, just see everything that they've been doing to Donald Trump since he's been in office the first time through now. It's a great point that the commenter makes. No checks were issued to the deceased Americans Musk is talking about. Exactly a concise, brevity-ridden way of saying this is the ruse. Democrats can openly say these people weren't getting these checks. And according to Elon Musk, that is a true statement. And it's supposed to head people off from paying attention to what's actually going on. Those deceased Americans aren't the ones who are getting the checks, the government checks. It's the way that they use those Social Security numbers that are not retired to provide government subsidies, substance programs, all of that stuff to other people. Because if you don't really look into it, it's just another Social Security number. Those government programs funnel through those Social Security numbers that aren't actually being used by living Americans to provide other people the opportunity to benefit from taxpayer-funded government programs, and nobody is the wiser. Great comment, Scooter. I'm glad you pointed that out. The deceased are not the ones receiving and cashing the checks. But government checks are 100% being written and cashed by other people who are abusing the system against the American taxpayer to fund some sort of ruse that allows people to live here without having to participate in the system the way everybody else does who's agreed to live in a legal sense. Let's get Ethan Sports and Local in the studio here next. Get to the latest. Is he going to talk the whole time about the World Series? It's not local, Ethan.
Well, I'm looking forward to finding out who won.
Uh-huh. There is a really, really cool local baseball story, though, that I bet you Ethan brings to us. We'll have that for you next. Don't go away.
Don't you worry, baby, don't worry, because I'm right here at home.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. A phone call, text message away, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You can Google the Bagel Loan to find out more information and quickly understand why the Bagel Loan is such a smart move. You can get a mortgage for your new home that you're purchasing. If you've been recommended another lender, certainly check out what they can do for you. But consider a second opinion with Stewie at 314-324-4440 and talk to him about exactly how this can work out for you, where at the end of getting that new mortgage, you pay nothing in closing costs, $0. Also, if you're looking to refinance your current mortgage, even if you want to take cash out of the growing equity in your home to invest in your home, to pay down some high interest credit card debt, whatever it might be. When you call 314-324-4440 and talk to Stewie about the bagel loan, that refinance can come with $0 in closing costs. It's a smart move to call or text and start the conversation with Stewie. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
Hey, with cooler weather moving in, don't put yourself at risk for a power outage. Get a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. This is all about giving yourself peace of mind by calling now for a free estimate. You won't have to worry about waiting on hold with the power company. No more worrying about your home when you're away. Get a free estimate on a generator from Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Financing is available 314-499-2020, Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th. So go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you can find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
Family focused, faith filled, always on point. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Hold up. Check it out. Sports and local.
Doobie doobies, doobers and doobies.
That one's stupid.
That was one that you did.
Yeah. I made that mocking you.
Yeah, and then I used it in your own open.
Thank you.
It's a mock-off.
Pretty sure that was the one that you literally
Sounds
had
Russian.
me play like 5 days in a row when you were out of town.
That sounds about right. I don't
You're like,
remember
"Just
that.
play that."
So that makes sense.
Just play that one a few days. It's officially the off season, guys.
Which one?
Baseballs. It is officially Major League Baseball's off season.
Who you got in the World Series?
It's the off season, Ryan. That already happened.
All right. It was a really good game, though.
World
I mean,
Union
I
Series.
hate the outcome, but it was a fantastic game.
The Toronto Blue Jays fell just short. The Los Angeles Dodgers, for the second straight year, are standing on top of the baseball world. They won in 7 games, and wow, what a game 7! What a series! What did you say, Annie?
I said plus.
Plus
7 games with extras.
7 games with extras. It's the first World Series to include more than 70 innings of play in it. You had in total, 11 extra innings of baseball in the 7 games. Of course, there were 9 of them came in game 3 and 2 of them in game 7. But back and forth throughout. And what a hectic and chaotic game 7 that
on a scale of 0 to 10, Ryan, how much do you this is not a shot at Ethan, but just I'm wondering the temperature outside of people who love baseball, i.e. Ethan, how much this World Series was interesting, like to you specifically.
I mean, I don't know how to put a number on it, but it was.
I'm like at a 1.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Out of 10?
How much I was interested in this World Series?
Yeah.
1.
1 being high or low, though.
Low.
Okay, that surprises me because I was at probably an 8.
Yeah.
7 or 8. I mean, because I wasn't watching the games at home, but I was paying pretty close attention to them.
What were you doing?
Well,
you didn't watch the games and you're an 8?
But I'm constantly texting with my buddies about it. We're looking at the box score, especially at the end of the 7th game.
You didn't watch it?
I wasn't watching. No, I kept
You're not an 8.
No, but we're constantly talking about it. Like we're always talking to each other about the game.
You're like an 8 or 9 on the fiscal spending of the SNAP program.
Okay, that's fair. No, I'm more like a 10 on that, but on Dodgers Blue Jays.
You can't be an 8 out of 10 on interest level of something and not actually watch the games.
Well, but yes, you can, because I was actually that interested in it. I just wasn't watching them.
Okay.
I really was interested. And I would constantly refresh my phone during the games.
Annie,
just to see
what
the
would
score.
it take for you to be more interested in any World Series? Is it because of
Different
the Cardinals and them struggling?
I didn't no.
What is it then?
I didn't want either team to win.
What's wrong with the Blue Jays?
They're Canadian.
Yeah, it's
true. Are you kidding me? Is that actually the reason?
I'm not rooting for them.
I don't understand people's hatred.
I don't hate them. I'm just not rooting for them.
Their lack of interest
it's
because they play north of the border. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
I'm not going to cheer for a Canadian team in America's pastime.
I wasn't cheering for either of these teams, but it was
exactly my point.
But most of the time, I'm not cheering for a team if it's not the Cardinals in it. I'm
if
just
the Brewers,
watching baseball.
If the Brewers or the Cubs would have been in this World Series against the Yankees, I would have cheered for the Brewers or the Cubs. Because I don't want and the Yankees haven't been the Yankees. I mean, the last team to go back to back were the Yankees. And I don't want the Yankees to win any more World Series ever again. So I would find an underdog affiliation with cheering for a central team against a dynasty. But I'm not cheering for a dynastic team that is not the St. Louis Cardinals. And I don't have any connection. There's no Max Scherzer, maybe. I mean, when we were watching that game, I was not happy to see the Dodgers win, but I wouldn't have been like pumping my fists in the air if the Blue Jays would have won.
Sure, but I find that most people probably aren't backing one team in most World Series. They're probably just watching it to watch the game, and
I think
because it's the championship.
I think most good World Series have a villain and they have an underdog, and this one did not have an underdog to me. And I think America's with me on that, Ethan.
I would disagree with you, but that's okay.
But that's because you're speaking from the sports world. And from the sports world, this was the best World Series that had ever happened. And I don't disrespect that either.
I think that a lot of people going in would not have told you that the Blue Jays were going to have a legitimate shot in this World Series.
I don't think that matters.
That's an underdog, though.
But I know, but the Dodgers are obviously a villain because they're a $300 million whatever payroll.
And a huge favorite for that reason.
Yes, but there's nothing about the Toronto Blue Jays that pulls people who are not in love with Major League Baseball into the story.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm just saying, like from an X's and O's perspective, there wasn't a reason for people not interested passionately in the game of baseball to fall in love with the teams, one of the teams in this World Series, unless you were United. And I think even North America was in their distaste for the Dodgers.
Yep,
which made it even worse that they won.
On. Now, I will say this: the ratings for it did
but
really
I'm no
well.
8 on the scale. So,
highest watched World Series since 2017. So the numbers did well, but that's to be expected when you have two huge markets. Like
I'm glad you said that at the end, because that's my argument precisely for this World Series. It's not that the Blue Jays had anything. You're like, ooh, I really want to root for the Blue Jays. It's that you hated the Dodgers that bad because they are just such a behemoth. And that was all I was too, because I don't care about the Blue Jays. In fact, it made me like them less that they're from Toronto, but they're not the Dodgers. And that was it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like this series had a villain, and then the other person.
The other team.
There wasn't, and it's not like I don't hate the Dodgers I don't hate the the Blue Jays. I don't even really hate the Dodgers. Like I could see myself. I love Freddie Freeman, love Tommy Edman. I love Clayton Kershaw because he didn't do much harm to the St. Louis Cardinals. And I will tell you what, after I saw the video of Clayton Kershaw kneeling down and getting attacked by his kids in the World Series after he retired, I was like, that is the best. I love that. So from a human interest level, I don't hate, like, there are real evils in the world to hate and just be disgusted and despised. That the Dodgers are not one of them. But like, you don't want to be a team. What's the Cardinals payroll? Is it 100 million? I'm guessing.
It was probably less than that this year.
I was thinking it was like 98 was the number I had on the top of my head. But I mean, to think that if you had 3 times the money to spend, well,
yeah, totally. The other St. Louis tie to this is, though, that we have, obviously, everybody knows we have the second most amount of World Series wins at 11 behind the Yankees, which have 27, which is crazy. But now the Dodgers have 9, and that's, you don't want them to catch you. Boston and the Athletics both also have 9.
And I also would add to this that I think it's a point that is lost on a lot of people in this discussion, because the Dodgers are so known for what people would refer to as buying championships in this regard. The Toronto Blue Jays have the 5th highest payroll at $225 million, and that is not lovable.
Agreed. Completely agree.
So it's just kind of like, I'm glad it's over and we're closer to the next Cardinals baseball game.
That we are. And now into Cardinals news. Last night, the Gold Glove Awards were announced, and a Cardinal came home with one. Woo! Mason Wynn, shortstop for the St. Louis Cardinals, won his first career Gold Glove, committed only 3 errors this past year, and was at just about the top of every single stat ranking among National League shortstops. So very well deserved for Mason Wynn, who is just 23 years old, becomes the 4th Cardinal shortstop to win the award, joining Ozzie Smith, of course, who won like 50 of them, Edgar Renteria, and Dal Maxville. It is the 100th Gold Glove won by a St. Louis Cardinal. That is the highest amount by any team in Major League Baseball.
That's exciting for him. He's exciting to watch.
He is going to win a lot of Gold Gloves. He's going to be around for a very long time.
For the Cardinals.
And it would be very silly if it was not for the St. Louis Cardinals. In fact, that would be one of my first things I'm doing this offseason, is I'm looking at extending Mason Wynn and making sure he's here for the long term. The St. Louis Blues, they did not end their losing streak this weekend. It is now 2-7. They lost to the Columbus Blue Jackets on Saturday night. They are facing off against the Edmonton Oilers tonight. 7 o'clock puck drop, I believe.
God bless the social media teams of teams that are bad, because they have to constantly be posting updates, and they're all bad. And you're like, what do you say? But they still do it. And that you got to give them credit for not avoiding the bad updates. They still post them.
They did a bunch of trick or treat Halloween stuff this past weekend, and boy, did I feel bad for the people running it, because all you look at the comments and it's like, we don't care, just win a game. Literally a game. So it's really, really brutal for the St. Louis Blues right now, but hopefully they'll look to start moving the ship in the right direction tonight against Edmonton.
Is Edmonton good?
Is Edmonton good? Yes, Edmonton is good. Yeah, they have been right around close, just falling short the last couple of years to a Stanley Cup championship. So yeah, Edmonton is good. Illinois beat Rutgers this weekend. They are now bowl eligible, winning their 6th game of the year. So a good sign for the Fighting Illini as things continue to move in the right direction for them. And Mizzou had the weekend off. Mizzou basketball getting started tonight. We have made it to college basketball season. And so that is the weekend recap of all the sports in St. Louis.
Yay.
Yay. Good job.
Where's the bright spot for St. Louis sports fans right now?
That's a great question. It depends. Would you include the surrounding colleges as well in that?
Well, I think right now you just got to keep expanding the radius.
Like, would you include like the Mizzou, Illinois in that?
Yeah, if you needed to.
I think so. You have to.
Okay, if you would, there is some pretty high expectations for Mizzou basketball this year. They had the #1 recruiting class in the country.
Wow.
Yeah, so there are pretty high expectations for what Dennis Gates and Mizzou basketball can do. They had a disappointing finish to last year, got upset in the first round of the NCAA tournament. But a lot of people are saying that they could be a dark horse to make a run for the Final Four this year. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do. The Blues were a bright spot going into the year. It has just been such an odd start to the year. I mean, nobody expected them to be struggling as much as they are. So, if you would have dated this 3 weeks ago, people would say, oh, the Blues are going to be really good. There's a lot of people talking about maybe that Stanley Cup window is opening back up. It's still early in the season, but there is reason for concern right now.
How close, how comparable are Mizzou and Illinois' football records right now? Do you know off the top of your head?
Mizzou, as far as like where their programs are at, or like what their records are?
No, their actual record.
Illinois is 6-3, and Mizzou is 6-2.
Could they play each other in a bowl game?
Yeah, technically, yeah, they could.
That'd be fun.
That would be. I wish that we would bring that rivalry back.
I know.
So much.
I enjoyed going to the
basketball is so fun, though, especially now that both the programs are good again, and now that football, both of them are good in football. The arch rivalry would be so much fun. I used to play at the Dome every year.
Yeah, I went to it.
Did you really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I was always on media tickets in the Mizzou side wearing Illinois gear.
That's funny. Was it 2 years ago? There was a Mizzou game played at the Dome and had a great turnout. I mean, there was a lot of Mizzou fans there. They played, I think, Memphis. It would be fun for them to be able to play in St. Louis, especially with a lot more players from the St. Louis area being on the Mizzou roster right now. Record-wise, they're very similar. And yeah, there is a world in which it could happen. And I think it'd be really genius marketing if they end up around the same record. I would expect Mizzou to end up probably finishing better than Illinois does, but they have a new quarterback, so because of the injury to Bo Pribula, so maybe I'm wrong there.
Well, we'll see. All right, thank you for the update. We appreciate it. Ethan, Sports and Local. I can't remember what it was that you said, but it was something like doobie doobie doo.
Doobie Doobersons, Doobie Doobers.
All right. Let's take a quick break. Go vote in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. We'll talk about it when we come back. Do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? Yes, but just to the end of the shutdown, or just to end the shutdown? Yes, do it for everything, or no, you do not support it. Go vote. We'll get the results in about 30 minutes from right now. Don't go away.
Perfect crime. How you laugh when you lie. You said the gun was mine. Isn't cool. No, I don't like you. But I got smarter. I got harder in the nick of time. Honey, I rose up.
Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com, 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. Consider calling Matt Hayes at 314-227-9636 to have him come look at your basement and the area that you see where that water is starting to make its way in. Or maybe it's something you've dealt with for a long time. Maybe you've purchased a home and you've noticed that this is an issue and you want to get to the bottom of it. You want experts who are going to do the right thing for you, to recommend the treatment that you're going to need that's custom to your basement and your needs. That's why people hire Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repair. If you go to their website, you're going to be able to see basement waterproofing right there at the top, and you're going to be able to understand what their process is, how they come assess your situation, how they walk you through the different types of services that they can provide to ensure that your basement is officially going to be waterproofed, and about the lifetime warranty that they're going to back it up with. 314-227-9636. Call Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repair, online at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
We know there's a lot that can go on during one night of baseball. Long home runs, epic pitching performances, catches that defy space, time, and gravity.
Climbing the wall. Did he catch it? He did.
But what if you could get all of that summarized in a quick, concise, and at least we think, funny podcast that's under 10 minutes? Check out MLB.com's morning lineup. It runs Monday through Friday mornings on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you love listening most.
Mark Cox here for the Range St. Louis West. Right now, they're giving away a free basic handgun skills class All you have to do is register for your chance to win. TheRangeSTL.com/971. I've taken this class. It's ideal for beginners. They have expert instruction. It's available in a women's only class. If that's what you're interested in, the normal cost is $135. You can win the class right now at TheRangeSTL.com/971.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Our YouTube live chat poll question today is about politics. Am I right? Do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? Now that is some politics and a big question. So what do you think about this? The answers are yes, but just to end the shutdown. Yes, do it for everything, or no. Chris on our YouTube page comments, yeah, I say yes, but just for this. They really should have done that after 2 or 3 times the Democrats voted to keep it shut down, not 13. Jerry says you might as well go ahead and do it. And I think he means for everything here, because when Democrats get back in there, they're going to do it for sure. So there you go. What do you think? All over the board on this one. I'm interested to see how this turns out. You have time to get your vote in right now, though, before the end of the show. We'll give you the results. 2:39. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
From Alton to Wildwood, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Your eyes follow like a spotlight, 2 eyes like the sun. Go ahead, keep your distance from me. Soon you're gonna call.
When you flick your hair like you don't care, when you ask me
I was looking into that's what President Trump said interviewing with Nora O'Donnell on 60 Minutes. I was watching that last night. We watched it at my house, and the 60 Minutes intro is the oldest old people radio intro, or not radio intro, but just like the show intro. It just screams super senior citizen.
Is it where it's the clock ticking still?
Yeah, but they have like the picture up. It's like 60 Minutes, but it makes it look like it's kind of like a magazine. And it's like, I'm Annie Fry and I'm Ryan Wiggins. And the 60 Minutes thing is, and they're like, and this is 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
And then they do the thing. I guess it's a whole set that's just a complete green screen. So the whole set is basically the story that they're talking about. It's like an infinity wall that's black or gray, and then instead of having the like little image that's up next to the anchor or whatever, like you would in a normal thing, it's like a fake prop in the studio. Like it's just huge and it's behind them and they're sitting on a stool. But just the tick, 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 tick. Is it iconic? Yes. But I'm like, there is no Gen Z person out there who's like, I got to see what happens next.
Yeah, they're not bringing in the youth. And
The youth.
They're not bringing in really anybody else. That's what's sad is that some of these programs you're like, yeah, I think this is about it.
Yeah. So, but I mean, with all that being said, then you watch Norah O'Donnell at Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump's welcoming her into the place at Mar-a-Lago where they're going to do the interview, and then they sit down, and the interview was over an hour long. They aired 27 minutes of it. You can watch the whole interview, which you may or may not want to do that, but Trump says that the Democrats are going to cave, or he wants the Republicans to end the filibuster. He wants to see them use the nuclear option so that they can go straight to voting on it, where you're going to have a Rand Paul who's going to vote against the continuing resolution probably. And then you may or may not. I don't know if Fetterman's going to vote for it. He wouldn't need to. He probably would. I think he probably would vote in favor of it. But the Republicans wouldn't need Fetterman's vote in order for it to pass. They would just need 50 votes and a J.D. Vance tie. So we're asking you on the YouTube live chat poll today, do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? Speaker Johnson reacted to President Trump.
We on our side traditionally have resisted that because the worst impulses of the far left Democratic Party, they would pack the court. They would do all the things the president has discussed there. I think what you're seeing there is a reflection of his anger, his real frustration that the government is closed. He is a big-hearted president. He wants everybody to get their services and the health services for veterans and SNAP benefits and all the rest. And he's tried everything he can, and he is now exhausting his ability. The courts are now saying you can't go any further. So he's just desperate for the government to open. He's tried everything he can. He's tried to negotiate with them. He pleaded with them, and they're still dug their heels in. So this is a reflection of all of our desperation. We're angry about it. I think we should be. The filibuster has traditionally been a safeguard against those worst impulses.
So Speaker Johnson is saying that the filibuster is a safeguard. And it sounds to me like he's not saying, yeah, end that filibuster, at least not publicly when he's on the Fox News shows or whatever. We're asking you what you would like to see the Republicans do. Yes, but just get rid of the filibuster to end the shutdown. Yes, do it for everything, which is what President Trump has suggested. Or no, you don't support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster. Ryan, your thoughts?
My opinions are all over the map on this.
What are you voting?
Well, okay, I'm going to say yes, but just to end the shutdown. And here's why. The Democrats are going to do this when they get back power because they almost pulled it off in the first couple of years of Biden. They just had a couple independents that said, no, we're not going to do it. And they would have packed the court and they would have done added states, just add senators and all that stuff. So they're going to do it. So to get ahead of it, to me, the only way to stop it is to end the shutdown. And that would basically end the ability for the minority party to control spending. And that's the biggest, as you know, if you listen to the show at all, I talk about this all the time. That's the biggest, in my opinion, emergency that our government has, is that we have that much debt that if the Republicans could actually use that, ending the filibuster, to balance the budget, and I'm not saying they would even do it, but if they could, that would be a reason to end it for the shutdown long term, not just for right now.
Brad?
I mean, my initial knee-jerk reaction is no, but I think if I'm going to vote, I think I'm going to vote yes, but just the end of the shutdown. What I'd like to see them do is go back to the way the filibuster used to be, where you actually would have to stand on the sidelines or on the floor and filibuster. You'd have to talk to take up the time. And then you wouldn't have these prolonged ones.
I'm a no. There's no way they should do it. There's an obvious, that's if you vote in favor of ending the filibuster, are the Democrats going to do this in the future, regardless of what we do? Yes. And we can't stand on any kind of principle in the future if we just do it. We'll just have to take that in the pants. That's just essentially the way that's going to go. The Democrats need to be held accountable for coming to the table to have negotiation. The Democrats are trying to put out there right now that the Republicans won't negotiate. The Republicans came to this in incredibly good faith, didn't ask for anything, even though they could have in the House with a simple majority. In this CR, they could have put things in here and they didn't. That was a compromise and a concession. They haven't said that they won't talk about any of these issues in the negotiations for the appropriations bill. But what the Democrats are doing right now is they are running out the clock on their ability to actually negotiate on these issues. So either the Democrats want to negotiate in good faith or they don't. Right now, this is not on the Republicans in the Senate. It's on the Democrats. They need to show up. They need to vote to end the filibuster. They don't have to vote in favor of the continuing resolution, but they're almost out of time to do that anyway. So if the Republicans if you wanted to use the nuclear option to end the filibuster, the Republicans are probably 2-3 weeks late on doing that to actually make it an effective way to do the business of the American people. And then after that, you'd give the Democrats the Trump card to say that, that they're changing the way we do things, whatever. It doesn't matter if it's hypocritical. That's never stopped them before. It's not going to stop the Democrats in the future from saying these things. I think that the Republicans should stand on the filibuster being an important issue, important mechanism in the Senate. They should stand by it, and they should tell Democrats, time to do business, time to get to work, time to do your freaking job. You're getting paid for it after all. Let's take a quick break. We'll get your results of the YouTube live chat poll when we come back. Don't go away.
From that game that you're running, baby, you've already won. I need to know what you need, what you like. 'Cause I'm gonna be it tonight. You can be cool, you can be shy, say what you want, say what you like. 'Cause your body talks, your body talks, your body talks. You can pretend.
Welcome back. We're going to talk about Air Comfort Service here real quick before we get to the poll results here in a little bit. Air Comfort Service, they are your go-to phone call, 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091 for all things heating and air conditioning and insulation that you might need in your home, but also at your place of work. Commercial repairs, yes, Air Comfort Service is there to help you with that. 314-513-0091. Air Comfort has been showered with awards for their incredible, impeccable service. Over 55 years of delivering it here in St. Louis. A 10-time recipient of Carrier's President's Award. Air Comfort Service was awarded the BBB Torch Award in 2020 as well. They're reliable people. And when you're protecting your business, you're trying to make sure that your comfort zone is squarely there for your employees, but also importantly for your customers. Air Comfort Service can deliver on that and deliver fast. Reach out to them at 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
It's an annual tradition, the Florissant Veterans Day Parade at 1 p.m. on Sunday, November 9th. Come out and show your support as we salute the brave men and women who serve our nation. Details and parade route at 971talk.com/events.
In a world of cookie-cutter health plans, the Pauley Agency is proud to represent coverage that's tailor-made to fit your needs. The Pauley Agency put the sure in insurance. For a free quote, call the Pauley Agency at 636-222-2149.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants. So
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
If you're looking for the best eye care in St. Louis, look no further than the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer. Make your appointment today at youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Do you feel like in a government shutdown, I feel like Congress people who are influencers have an opportunity to like hyper influence. There's this kind of separate thing that exists from the job of representing people in a representative democratic republic that we have, where your job is to go and represent people, advocate for your district, advocate for your constituents. And I mean, on the whole, I think it's kind of it's not a boring job, but it's not nearly as publicly entertaining as some make it out to be. You can kind of like make of it what you want. And I'm kind of interested in how it seems as though, am I missing it? Are there Republicans who are hyper influencing in this moment? I feel like most of the speak that is coming out of Congress right now is really coming from Speaker Johnson.
I would say Johnson and Thune are the two.
Thune even less. He's not as, and I think maybe it's the idea that he's like working right now, where Speaker Johnson, the House passed the CR. There's nothing for them to really do. I suppose you could make the argument there certainly is stuff for them to do, but with the government being shut down, he has idle hands a little bit more than Senator Thune does, who has to be working and especially be perceived as working. The Democrats, I still see a lot of like, I remember the Eric Swalwell video that came out. It was supposed to be like this cute little video where he's walking around the hallways looking for people who are working. Well, bud, I don't feel like either party is making the influencer political hay out of this as much as I kind of would expect them to.
Yeah, they're trying. I just don't think it's sticking because it's not a fun issue to talk about. It's one that everybody's like either directly or somewhat indirectly affected by, but especially the first couple of weeks of a shutdown, you don't notice much. We're getting there now, but I think they are trying to message. It's just hard to message. Johnson's doing a good job.
The message is it's the other guy's fault. That's the message.
What they do.
I don't even really see Democrats pushing really heavily the policies they're advocating for.
Oh no, definitely not.
It's not like the Democrats are coming out going, we're fighting for XYZ. Their only collective message is that the MAGA party has shut the government down and they won't listen to us or talk to us for anything.
Yeah, and you know what? They were messaging on healthcare subsidies before the shutdown, and maybe the first week
it's gone away.
But they're not anymore because we found out, they actually are funding healthcare for illegal immigrants, and then they were like, "Whoops, no, we're not. We're going to go away."
And whenever people talk about, wanting to extend the subsidies that are going to expire here for people, for their healthcare premiums going to go up really high here. Remember that we had the Affordable Care Act was so unaffordable that the government had to subsidize the government subsidized healthcare program.
Yes.
It's a bit incestuous at this point. The YouTube live chat poll: do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? Yes, but just to end the shutdown. Yes, do it for everything. And no. Ryan, you are yes, but just to end the shutdown. And so were you, Brad, right?
Right.
I'm a no. 17% said yes and do it for everything. And that 17% would include President Trump, who I'm not certain voted in this poll, but if he would have, that's the one that, at least in his interview with Norah O'Donnell on 60 Minutes, he said, get it done. End the filibuster, get all of our stuff done, send it to me, I'll sign it. 34% said yes, but just to end the shutdown. 49% of over 235 votes on the Annie Fry show said, 49% said no, don't end it. That's interesting. I'm kind of surprised that it wasn't a little more the way you guys suggested.
Me too.
Vote, just to end the shutdown. All right, keep it right here because the Mark Reardon Show is up next on 97.1 FM Talk St. Louis Conservative.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by